Hello, you're listening to Reviewing History, your comedy history podcast. I'm filmmaker and teacher Brian Rupert, joined here by...
As always, Stephen Abagnale.
And the star of the show, everyone's favorite...
Angie, yo.
Woo!
He's really coming to his own with that.
He nails it.
His name.
Can you put a drum roll in post? When I'm like,
roll?
and everyone's favorite, you know. Yeah, really.
I don't think I'm everyone's favorite. I have my followers.
His shit-eating grin.
The smile on
But
his
I'm
face.
not everyone's favorite.
Not everyone's.
So, I like
Brushing
your
his hair
shirt.
back.
You like my shirt?
I like your shirt today. Can you expose it?
Yes, it's Keep Staten Island Historic.
Now, did you wear that specifically for the show, or
No, I have this shirt. It's a shirt. My wife bought it for me.
but you just happen to have it on as you're doing your history show?
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
Are we
Wasn't
calling it? Is this officially? Yeah, I guess it is a
Pre-planned.
history show.
I mean, what you would say it's not?
Well, you like to say it's a comedy history podcast.
It's both.
Which seems very complicated.
It's both. You
Yeah.
know, we give
It's a little of this, a little of that.
a little of everything. We're not going to provide everyone the most accurate history.
No.
You know, but we'll give you some stuff and have
Sometimes
a
a
fun time.
Sure.
reimagining.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll just lie and fabricate things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? I don't know.
All of it, most of it.
Everything. It's every
I
word
wouldn't
has
say
been a lie.
everything. Maybe 70%.
We're a couple of con men.
Ah!
Kind of like the star of, well, not the star, the main character of the movie we're doing today.
Oh, yeah.
What's his real name?
Frank Abagnale Jr.
Yeah.
It's his real name in the movie, yeah.
Is that Italian? Abagnale? Abagnale?
Abagnale?
French?
Oh, yeah. Well, his mother's French. What about his father?
American?
Give me a second. I'm going to look that up.
So, well, we have to say the movie.
Yeah, we're doing Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah. Catch Me If You Can.
Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg. I believe this is 2002. Yep.
Yeah.
His father was an Italian-American, so he is Italian.
Same year as Gangs of New York. It's a big year for Mr. DiCaprio.
Isn't Gangs 2003?
No.
So these both came out the
Are we
same.
lying again?
No, it's 2002. They're both 2002.
These both came out the same like season.
Yeah.
You had your
Damn.
pick of a Leo film.
This is Leo coming into his own. He's here, and he's not leaving. He's going to be rolling around in the ground in the wilderness getting raped by a bear.
Oh, we got a lot of
wait.
Leo coming.
Yeah.
Do we?
Aviator.
I never saw that. I never saw this. This is my first viewing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad to hear what your thoughts are.
It was fine. Those are my thoughts.
That's a good thought. It's better than it was bad.
It's not bad by any means, but it's like this is like a who gives a shit story.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a fun crime romp.
Yeah.
It's not even that fun. He doesn't do anything all that fun.
I love this movie.
Do you?
This is a movie. I saw it when it came out in theaters. I saw it in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And then my family had the hot box at the time. And it was one of those hot box movies where every time it came on, I would watch it, at least in parts. So I've seen this 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm. You know this movie like the back of your hand.
Yeah, and I haven't seen it in a really long time, like watching it start to front. But I love this flick.
Yeah, I knew nothing about this. This was all new to me. I know my wife likes the movie, so she's been trying to get me to watch it for a little while.
Okay.
But other than that,
Did she watch it with you?
no. This was sprung on me too quickly, and we couldn't get together to watch it.
Okay. Sorry. We had a miscommunication.
There's a bit of a communication breakdown.
And when the
It's always
machine
the
breaks
same.
down,
We break down.
Yep. That's what happened. But we'll get through it. Personally, I liked this movie when I first saw it.
You've seen this before?
I'm pretty sure I saw it in theaters too. And I felt like I almost disliked it more now than when I first saw it.
Why? Because it's the tale of a hip young boomer taking advantage of a trusting society?
Just in general?
I'm gonna be honest. I got way more out of it now than I ever did before.
Really?
Yeah. Like I used to like it, and now I love it, and I actually think it's brilliant. And I will take you through what I think the movie is really about. And
Good, because I don't know what it was about. I found myself trying to figure out what am I supposed to get out
What's
of
the
this?
point?
What's the point of this? Why tell this story?
okay.
Well, it's a real story.
I
we'll get
understand it's a
into
real
that.
story, but every
get into that.
movie has like a mess. Well, maybe mess is the wrong word, but there's always a point to watching these movies. And when this was over, I was just feeling like I don't know what I'm supposed to think about all that.
Okay.
You know?
I kind of agree with you there, actually. I
think-
think that's why I disliked it more this
All
time
right,
around.
I think I'm going to convince both you guys and
I hope
change your
so.
opinions by the end.
I hope so.
Sure. I mean, I like the movie. But I think when you look at the past ones that we've done some heavy hitters. So I'm comparing it to, like, great stuff.
Look,
You know?
I think the mistake, you particularly do this all the time, where anytime we talk about something that's...
You're always just fucking doing dumb shit. That's what you
No,
do.
Yeah.
No, I don't even...
Dipshit.
What a fucking asshole you
Fuck
are.
up.
And you prove it. You prove it to all of us every time you open your fucking mouth.
You called him
your
an
opinion is
imbecile.
worthless.
Yeah, you called me an imbecile because I made a joke.
No, you gave your serious opinion about your sitcom choices.
I don't
and they were
watch
terrible
sitcoms.
choices. That's what you're.
I was listening to that.
That was several weeks
He
ago.
laughed at it.
I was listening to that, I was rolling. Every time you called him an idiot, I
He
was
was so angry. He was so angry. You're an imbecile. I said Frasier. By the way, I've never seen an episode of Frasier.
Frasier's great.
Never seen one. We know that.
It's very well written.
Yeah, sure. But anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, you were going to convince us about some stuff.
Well,
apparently.
before we do that, we were just
No,
about
what
to...
were you gonna say? You said he always does something, and then I cut you off.
This is
Yeah.
what you always do.
Yeah.
You always compare things. You'll be like, like some of the shit we've seen is like so great, and it's
Yeah.
like this isn't trying to be Amadeus, so you can't.
No,
judge
it's a much
it.
lighter movie.
You
No,
can't
no.
judge it next to Amadeus. You have to judge it. It's trying to be a fun crime heist movie. Like of
Yeah,
the
of course.
things we've watched, this is probably closest in tone to Driven,
Yes.
Sure.
and it's a better
Yeah.
version of that.
Oh, much.
So it's like you have to judge it based on what it's trying to be, you know?
Right. But
And
I also think I can't give, like, something like this, where you said you love it, right? So in my head, it's like you're giving it an 8 to 10. I can't give it an 8 to 10 because I gave Amadeus a 10. You know what I mean? And, like, if I can't give this a 10 if
But it's
if
a 10
that
for
stacks
it's a
up,
10
you know
for
what I
different
mean?
things. Like
Sure,
you love
of course.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, but if I do it based on movie history, I'm not, like, the history comes into factor with rating this too, right? So it's tough.
It's however you want to do it, truthfully.
True.
I usually just go by how much I enjoy it.
I didn't give this a bad mark, though. I enjoy this movie. It's hard not to. It's a fun movie, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
We all just looked in. It's fun, right?
fun, right?
Tell us it's fun.
It is
Say
fun.
it.
It's fun to watch. I can see why people love this.
And
You
you
talk
see the
about Spielberg.
watchability, right?
It's very watchable.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
Rewatchable.
right. Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
What's the elephant in the room?
He's over there. His name's Horden. He hears a who. And that was a horrible, horrible joke. Some have said I'm the elephant in the room.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
I saw you crossing the Alps into the Po Valley and Romans running in terror.
Yeah, I had a till on my back. We came from Carthage.
I can't
Alright.
wait to make that picture.
This.
Hannibal. It's not a tilt.
Oh, sorry, I fucked up. All right, but this is our first Steven Spielberg joint on the show.
Oh my! I guess it is.
That's the elephant in the room?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
shit.
it's something we got to talk about, right?
Sure.
The man's body of work is insane.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
We all love his shit.
Yeah, some more than others.
Well, obviously, it's like we all love Raiders. We love the indie shit.
Look, I mean, everybody knows what the fucking Spielberg hits are, right?
Exactly.
He did AI, right?
Yes.
Did you like AI?
I've never seen that.
Me neither.
I never saw it.
Oh, can we do it?
I think he's kind of been on a shit run for the last 20 years or so, right?
No.
No?
Last 20 years?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head right this second. Nothing's coming to mind since 2002 that I've given a fuck about from Steven Spielberg. Before that, there's a billion, you know?
Well, let's go through the list, shall we?
You want to go through?
Let's look at the stuff that he did. So this is
Look, I mean, I can rattle off probably 10 movies that are like incredible. Like,
but they're all before 2000.
but they're all before 2002.
Okay, ready?
So you think Catch Me If You Can was the last like good thing?
I think that was
because
the
you didn't see the Aviator.
I think
right?
that's probably the start of his downturn.
Catch Me If You
Aviator is
Can.
Spielberg. Is
Excuse me.
Scorsese.
Okay, so what did he do after this?
After this, The Terminal, which is based on a true story, but I've never seen it.
I like that movie. Very basic movie though.
War of the Worlds.
I like that.
That's
I
great.
liked it.
I like that. I don't know if it's great.
I
not
like
great,
it's
but
a
I liked
really
it.
great action sci-fi.
Yeah.
Munich, fantastic.
Never saw it.
Crystal Skull. I mean,
Horrible.
okay, it's shit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Adventures of Tintin, really good animated film.
Okay.
Yeah, that's who
But,
gives a shit.
Yeah.
Warhorse,
That
I
was,
didn't see it.
That
Didn't
was
see it.
okay to middling.
Lincoln,
Lincoln's
Good.
good.
Bridge of Spies was awesome.
Good. I liked it.
All right, maybe it's just my personal taste that I just
Yeah, I
don't
think so.
care.
Well, when you
Maybe.
look at it, there's none of the big blockbustery stuff.
There's no
Right,
Saving Private Ryan, Jurassic Park, Jaws. You know,
Well, you can't always.
Those
make,
don't.
you
I
know,
understand
Those
that.
don't exist anymore.
those are the movies of a young man, and we're now getting an elder statesman in the industry.
You can't make masterpieces.
I mean, he
all
did
the
Ready
time.
Player One in 2018, which I liked a lot.
I liked that movie, but it's not a masterpiece. That's what you're getting to.
That's almost
Where's the
like
masterpieces?
a parody of himself, isn't it? Isn't
Ready
that movie?
Player One?
Isn't that I've never seen it, but isn't that movie just like nostalgia bait of his own fucking stuff?
No,
No.
It's like
it's social
here's Back to
commentary.
the Future things.
No,
happening.
no, it's social commentary.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's everything.
I can't really
Yeah.
say. I didn't see it.
It's everything.
But-
It's an enjoyable movie.
Enjoyable, but it's like he said, it's not a You're yearning for the '90s masterpieces.
Yeah,
and they don't
I'm
come.
looking for these cultural fucking dominant things that happened
I get it.
that just he doesn't do anymore.
Well,
which
no
is
one
fine.
do-
He doesn't have to.
But no one does them anymore because they
Right.
can't be done
Well,
unless
James
it's
Cameron
Marvel.
does Avatar.
Are there any rock star directors anymore?
Tarantino.
He's the last one.
He's the last guy.
I guess.
He's the last guy where people are going to see a movie just because it's a Tarantino.
And even he is a leftover from a different age.
Yeah, it's just
you
directors and
consider,
films don't have that same impact anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a reasonable point. Would you consider Cameron one of those people still?
James Cameron?
Yeah. 'Cause
No.
People go to see his movies just based on his
Again,
name.
no cultural impact whatsoever.
No, but like when you say rock star director, like the first two people that came to mind is that and maybe like Snyder, because people will go just because those names, you know.
No.
What, Zack Snyder?
I don't know because maybe that's just
Zack
'cause we do
Snyder's
the
making like
jokes.
direct to Netflix shit now.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, that's what
there was a
directors do.
time when Spielberg came out with a movie,
You saw
everyone in the world went to go see it,
Yeah.
talked about it for the next year and a half, and it became in the zeitgeist of our culture.
Yeah, that was when we had a cultural zeitgeist. We don't have one anymore.
I agree.
So it like he
But
could-
I'm not criticizing the man. Like I'm not attacking him.
No, I
I'm
know.
just saying he's past his prime, and he probably has been on this downward turn for 20 years.
I actually will disagree, and I think his work is like as strong as ever.
All right.
In my mind, in my opinion, he's the greatest director ever
Mm-hmm.
because he's capable of doing anything. He could do incredible action. He could do slow burn
Sci-fi.
dramas.
Yeah.
Anything
Animation.
Have
like
you ever done a comedy, like a straight up comedy?
he
The
did.
Terminal has
he-
a little bit of comedy.
He did one, and it's a huge flop. I've actually never seen it. 1941.
Oh, 1942.
42. Yeah, not 41.
Yeah, I've seen parts of that.
Okay,
It's a pile of shit.
I've never seen it,
Yeah.
but you
It's
know,
early on. That was like 1980.
Hook,
Yeah.
which
Hook.
is Hook is hated
that's
by
90s.
anyone that's
I
not,
like Hook.
But that's
anyone that's
90s.
not in our generation is hated by.
Hook was a kid's movie for us.
Yeah, that's '90s though. That's not
Yeah.
after his downfall. That's kind of his rise. You know, I kind of I side with Ant. Sadly, his body of work, he hit a peak, but he never like fell.
It's not like he's been making shit.
No, he never fell. He makes good movies, but he doesn't make craftful masterpieces
Nothing-
anymore because it's hard to do that.
Nothing short of like Maverick, which again is a fucking sequel,
Yeah,
like has any sort of like draw at the box office where people go and talk about
I'm not
it.
talking about box office. I'm just like,
Zeitgeist.
people do not give a fuck about modern movies. They don't stick around in your brain.
They
No.
care about Marvel.
They're Marvel movies that become memes or they're forgotten. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's just what movies are now. They're disposable. You hit next on Netflix, it's background noise. You sit on your phone and you watch it. Movies are a dying thing that I love.
What was the last movie
Yeah.
that you truly were enriched by and you love?
Maverick.
Where I walked out of the theater and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Maverick. Yeah. It's recent.
When I saw Maverick, I came out and I was like, wow, I can't fucking believe I saw
Yeah,
that.
that was.
Maverick
It's
blew
very
me
good.
away.
It's very good.
Like, I loved Maverick. I mean, I saw almost all the Best Picture nominees last year, and I loved them all. I really liked Banshees of Inisherin.
I got to see that.
You
That-
will love that.
Yeah, I looked at the trailer after Brian saw that and he called me up and was like, "You need to watch this." And I watched the trailer and I was like, "Yeah, this looks up my alley." I haven't watched it yet.
All Quiet on the Western Front, right?
Oh, I thought that was great.
So that was recent.
Yeah, yeah.
You like
The,
1970?
the one that popped in my head was Northman. I
love
thought that
Northman
was
good.
fantastic.
So like they're there,
They're there.
but
It's
these
just,
have no cultural impact either. Northman had no.
I think
cultural
The
impact.
Witch did.
The Witch had no cultural impact.
I think so. I think people care about that movie.
I think people
think
care about
we
it
care
more
about
now
it.
than when it came out. But it's
That's what I'm
still,
saying.
It still isn't a giant
has a
thing.
staying power.
But you can't go to the layman and be like, remember
Yeah.
Black Phillip? They'll be like, why? Shut up, racist. You know?
There's no Lego sets of The Witch. There's Lego sets of Jurassic Park and Star Wars and all those. other
Everything is
monuments
just
of things.
constantly like shit boomers love that they repackage
Yeah.
it and try to give it to the young.
Yeah.
Like rebooting Ghostbusters
I have
for
a
kids, you know?
kind of, I guess, big statement about this because I think that movies themselves. Try explaining that one.
You can't.
Can't. I might actually cut that. Movies themselves, like you said, as Brian just stated, are so disposable that entertainment itself is kind of yearning for something else. And I feel like we're kind of on the cross between that, where movies are slowly.
So you're saying the age of the movie is over?
The age of the movie is coming to an end slowly. Now, not box office movies like Marvel because they're going to make $1 billion, but you're only going to get that so much. You're not going to have that structure anymore because there's only so many,
Do you think,
IPs that.
Do you think people
exist.
younger than us have any interest in watching like an art film?
outside of being forced to in school. No, I really don't.
I think some
And
people.
you guys work
It's a
with
small
kids.
population. When we're talking about the main population of people, don't care about that.
I think some people do because it's like Everything Everywhere All at Once was a weird fucking movie, and it generated a lot of money, and it had an
It
impact.
had buzz.
People saw it.
Did it have an impact?
I
Yeah,
think it had buzz. I think people talked about it.
it was a great movie. I loved it.
The only person I've ever heard talk about it is you. Sadly, and you're a movie guy.
Brian is the only person I've heard in person talk.
That's what I'm referencing. Where how
But
many
you
times
get-
you
but
go
on
to
the
your
internet,
family,
it's there.
You go to your family, and it's
Well,
like that's
you
what they
know,
talk about.
you know.
I
know,
put
that's
that
not what
on
happens.
for my wife's family.
Uh-huh.
They were like, "What should we watch?" I was like, "Oh, watch this. It was great." I have to go do. I left. I did
Yeah.
something,
Right.
and I came back after, and they're like, "That was the worst movie I've ever
Exactly.
They
seen."
sat through the whole thing, though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So I think that if the movie industry hits that point where when they need something else, you need a new source of entertainment. And I think interactive entertainment is probably closer to what the future is going to be, where it's like a movie that you star in, like VR kind of shit.
It's
You know what I
funny.
mean?
It's like all the guys I work with, their number one conversation is what they're watching and recommending things to each other, but it's
Shows.
always hot garbage.
Yeah.
it's the new thing that the algorithm presented
Right.
to them. That's what they know.
But stuff that has cultural impact,
Cultural impact for
it's
media
so hard
is
to do.
done.
Yeah. You need something new.
Everything is so segmented into what you like. Like I'm a movie guy, so I'm in the movie pockets of the internet where I see movie shit.
Yeah.
You're into more music shit, so you go to music places. It's
Sure.
You're into shit posting and memes, so that's what you
Right.
go to. It's
And gay porn.
Yeah,
Gay pornography.
Right. Yeah.
he can tell you what's trending there.
100%.
They're into red socking now, he said.
Oh.
Brian, I don't know what that is.
Sure.
Why don't you explain it? Because I don't know what it is.
And
I know pink socking.
pink socking. Sorry.
Oh, okay. You know what? Don't worry. I got you. I'm on your page now. All right. I thought he got something new, and I'm like, Brian actually just showed his hand. No, I think in order to do a cultural impact, I think interactive stuff is probably the next thing.
Do you remember when you worked at the virtual reality place?
The Void, yeah.
That was almost
fucking
like
awesome.
pretty cutting edge stuff.
They have new stuff out now where it's a full open room and you star in like a zombie
Why don't you tell
apocalypse.
people what it is instead of just saying a blanket statement like that that's really vague?
Sure. Well, you said it's the virtual reality.
Well,
thing,
that was a
so
setup for you to
it
explain
is-
what the fuck we're talking about.
I might be under scrutiny.
I mean,
say
you
it.
could say what the void is.
So the Void was a VR experience that the virtual reality maps out the real map that they make. So the stage. So you have a VR map, basically like a game map, where if there's a table there, we set up a table in real life so that when you reach out in VR and touch it, you touch a table.
What does VR mean?
Virtual reality.
Okay.
So
Do you think anyone listening doesn't know? Like some
Right,
grandpa put it on and is like, what is this? VR.
So what'll happen is, let's say there's like lava in front of you, they'll shoot a heat lamp at you. Let's say there's water that splashes, they'll mist you. So it's an interactive environment, which is what I was kind of talking about. I think that's the next step towards actual.
There's pretty amazing stuff when I did it.
It's cool.
Oh, it's very cool.
Fucking.
You
I
could
love
grab
it.
a gun and shoot the gun, and you feel it in real life. And in VR, it's mapped out, so you see the gun in your hand, and it's really cool.
It's probably the closest thing we have to like a holodeck.
It is a
Yeah.
holodeck. It's 100% a holodeck, but they have what I was trying to get to. They have a new version of that, where so in the void, it was like hallways kind of, where you build like these walls. This has no walls. It's just an open exploration kind of thing, and it's pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but that's the future right there. But we should probably get into the movie.
Oh yeah, we're here to
We're
talk about a movie.
right?
So, yeah, so we're talking
Catch
about
Me If You Can.
Catch Me
Yeah,
If You Can,
Spielberg.
the story of a famous con artist criminal,
Yep.
Frank Abagnale Jr., played by Leonardo
Abagnale.
DiCaprio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Star-studded cast.
Yes.
Star-studded.
He still looked young enough.
To play a boy.
Thanks.
Yes, play a young man.
If you think about it, he was almost Spider-Man a year earlier than this.
Really?
Oh no, the same year, 2002, that summer.
I didn't. He was in the running with Toby.
He was up there. Yeah, he was one of the people they were looking at.
You think that would have been worse?
They cast the perfect guy.
They did.
Yeah.
Toby?
Yeah.
It's perfect casting. There's no one else I'd rather see.
That movie rules.
It's
agree with you.
incredible.
I agree that was good casting. So the movie starts out very strangely.
I love the credits.
The
Yeah.
opening,
So that was the first thing I noticed. The credits are 1960s.
Yes.
It's Mad, 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 Mad World. It's
Yup.
fucking
The music. Do-do-do-do-do.
Tell the
Yeah.
Truth show. Very weird.
Oh yeah, the
Very weird.
the game show opening.
You're talking about the opening animation.
Yeah, the little animation.
John Williams score.
Yes, it's
Yep.
very classic Hollywood stuff. You
Yup.
must have loved
Pink
that.
Panther. Oh, I eat it up. You know, I'm like, this is the shit, man. There's so much in this movie that's designed for me to love. Obviously,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
talk about
I
that.
went, once we got about halfway through, I was like, oh, this is why we're watching this.
this was Steve's pick.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
No, this was his pick, guys.
it was Ant's pick.
I always wanted to see it.
We discussed it. We
Oh,
all
the
picked
fourth
it.
wall is coming down. My God.
We all picked it. Sometimes we get together and decide what to pick.
So that To Tell the Truth thing is real. He was a contestant on To Tell the Truth,
Oh, yeah?
which is a great show.
Probably the coolest show I've ever seen from like those old TV things. It's from the 1950s. It was, oh God, I forgot what it was called.
Is it the one with the Lincoln?
That's what I was going to say, yeah. They would bring a person on, and they had a secret, and the panel would have to figure out what the secret is. And there's a famous clip on YouTube you can look up. They had a guy who was in Ford's Theater when Lincoln got shot, and that was his
Wow.
secret. And they had to figure that out. It was really cool.
That is cool.
How do you fucking even guess that in the 1950s?
Gotta ask
Oh,
questions.
he's a very old man.
Yeah.
Gotta ask questions.
Mr. Seymour. It was Mr. Seymour. That was his name. I remember that.
So
I
that's a weird
loaded
start.
the gun for John Wilkes Booth. The South shall rise again.
Starts being overtly racist.
Yeah. In the 1950s, that would have been a problem. They would have given
Oh, they
standing
would've ate-
ovation.
Yeah, they would have ate it up.
So they say that he stole $4 million. He was the youngest con man, basically ever.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And we're introduced to Tom Hanks, Hanratty.
Hanratty.
I am Carl Hanratty.
Yeah.
And this is in 1969.
This is our first Hanks, isn't it?
happening.
I believe it is, yeah.
Is it?
I think so.
Got to really go through my head.
So he
Yeah.
is playing the guy obviously hunting Leo's character.
Carl Hanratty.
But
That is not
that
his
is
real
not his real name. The real guy is named Joseph Shea, who apparently
He did
did
not-
not want to have his name in the film for some reason.
Hey, we're gonna make you
So
look
we're
like
going to
an
out
ass.
him right here.
We're gonna make you look like an asshole for friggin' 2 hours, basically.
I've read.
I don't think he
a
looked
lot
like an
of,
asshole.
Dude, he corners Leo in a room and gets tricked.
He
that look-
specifically looks like an asshole.
he
in
looks
this.
stupid there.
Yeah,
for
he looks
sure.
stupid
And
throughout a lot of it.
I read a lot about the background of this, and I don't know what's real and what's not.
So it seems to me that most of the story is pretty fabricated, with
It's
the
an
exception
autobiography.
of the crimes. The crimes are
Yes.
spot on, like the
So-
scams themselves.
I
Frank
also
said
heard
the
it different
movie
about
was
that, too.
80% accurate.
Yes.
And a couple of years ago now, it's kind of like an 8 Men Out situation.
Yes.
People have done research and come to light.
He's all bullshit.
And like it turns out like the whole thing is practically bullshit.
Most of the crimes are bullshit too.
He said after, like long after the fact of the film coming out and everything, that his original book that came out in like 1980, was telling a story, not necessarily telling a biography or an autobiography.
but it was sold as that.
It was sold as that.
So
right.
he's like, they caught him, and he's like, "Oh, maybe I exaggerated." a little."
I think you can safely say that there's a certain level of accuracy when it comes to the scams.
The
everything
scams he
else
probably
seems
did.
to be.
I think the credit stuff he did, but I don't think he did like the board thing with the lawyers. Like the Louisiana board has no records of him at all.
Oh, he had a fake name.
No, like any of the names that there was no records of that ever happening. Like he lied about that. He lied about the hospital thing. Like apparently all
I
that's
don't believe
bullshit.
a con man would lie.
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
That's why I believe carnival games are always on the up and up.
If
when
there's
I go to
one
the
man
fair.
you can trust, it's this guy.
yeah,
Right. Yeah, right.
Anyway, it's Christmas Eve, 1969 in France.
Yes.
Leo
La
is
Francais.
What a great
he's
year.
reprising his role of man in the iron mask of being in a French prison coughing. He's all
What's that
Violently-
about?
Violently called.
man in the iron
Yeah.
mask.
I never saw it.
Oh God. Okay.
Dude, don't don't go down this road.
It's a sequel to the Three Musketeers. Basically, there's a
Twins.
twin of King Louis the 14th or 15th.
The Sun King?
Yeah, who has been stored away in prison, and they want to break him out and switch them so the guy in prison can rule kindly. That's kind of the gist of it.
Yeah, that's a good. That
Sounds exciting.
It's cool. I love Musketeer shit, the Three Musketeers.
Oh yeah. And so Carl is meeting him. He's violently coughing. Somebody got me a doctor. His accent.
What is that
very
accent?
bad. Is very bad in this.
Where's he supposed to be
Boston, I think, right?
But it goes in and out.
from? Yeah.
Like it's
Sometimes he's just Tom Hanks.
and then sometimes he's from Boston. It's very confusing.
Well, that's what happens when you let an actor go too much, and you're like,
Right.
He most of the time it's the Boston accent or it's regular. He's like, let me do one for me.
I think 2002 was probably the height of Tom Hanks's powers.
I mean, you're 2 years removed from Castaway,
Yeah.
right?
He can't be stopped. You can't put a chain on him.
He's
Hanks and he does what he wants.
He's still fucking strong.
He's always going to be strong. But
America loves Tom Hanks.
yes.
He is. Would you consider him like America's guy? Like he's the one that like no matter what everyone loves.
For some reason, I think it's because he was in Saving Private Ryan and then like did Band of Brothers. Like
He also
was
does
associated with
voiceover
that.
for all those docs.
He's become like America's
Hero almost.
like history keeper.
Yep. Well, it's him and Spielberg. They do all these historical movies together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got that kind of
He's
job,
beloved.
but yeah, everyone loves Tom Hanks. He makes a couple movies that are just fucking out of this world, and he's been risen to a point where he is like above Hollywood. You
Oh
know?
yeah, he's Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
He was Sully. Right?
Yeah, he was the captain. He
Yeah,
was
the
the captain
captain.
now.
Captain Phillips.
else?
Yes.
He's just
He went to space.
He was a bosom buddy.
Apollo
All
13.
Yes. Yeah.
he's a killer.
He's
He does
Gump.
everything.
He's fucking
He's
Gump.
Gump.
right, is Gump eligible to do on this show?
No.
Hold on.
Negatore.
No. Don't even.
Here's what I would say. I believe it would be
I believe
because he goes through historical events we could talk about.
in a Kingsman type situation.
Yes.
But it's a biopic.
It's not a biopic.
It's about
It's a biopic about a fake man.
a fake guy.
But
yeah.
that's not the relevant part. The relevant part is him interacting with history if we were to do it.
I think it's too far removed. You can easily find a better film on each of those
You
subjects.
did this once before. I don't want to do it again.
What do you mean?
You did it with the Kingsman. That was close
That was
enough.
a good episode.
That was close enough. We're not doing that again.
I actually think that's one of our worst episodes.
Really?
Yes.
We got some
I'll tell you why.
conflicting opinion.
Because it was early on And all we really did was just go through the movie and say what happened and had nothing to say about
good.
any of it.
There was no real.
We just
history
laughed at
behind
what
it.
happened in the movie.
We talked about the real history and stuff.
Oh, it was a
Yeah.
bad pick.
I mean, I don't think it was. Look, I think we've had better ones
I think
since.
Steve is stirring the shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, let's get back to this movie. So, Leo falls over and he tricks them and escapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Ran
he's
out.
crawling, trying to get away.
Never happened.
And
That never happened.
Never happened.
We made it up.
In fact, the prison was like, he was never even here. I don't know how he would have escaped.
that was invented by a writer.
It was invented by a writer. Yeah.
From my research, it said he spent 6 months in a French prison.
Nope. It's fake. I don't know. That's the thing. I'm seeing stuff that say it's real.
Look,
and then
I'll tell you what I found out, and I will.
he's
I
a
will,
great con man.
I will point this out. I knew nothing of this story until this morning.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is not coming from me. Everything I'm going to tell you comes from someone
Somewhere else, yeah. I think that's most of the show. How can we do our own research?
Well,
on
you know,
this guy,
I like it a lot when I come to this program with some prior knowledge.
Yes.
That is not the case today. I have no prior knowledge.
So from what I've seen, there's some articles that are just like, oh yeah, he spent time in this prison, and then there's other articles like some Wikipedia, I think, where journalists like went to the prison and like, oh yeah, let's see the records, and there was no records of this man ever. And then the journalists are just like, this guy basically lied about like 80% of the stuff in this film. So it's hard to tell.
I don't know.
He's a con
It's-
man.
believe
we're
what
getting
you want.
conned.
it's the long con.
Wow, yeah.
All right,
But
so we get the
he's-
speech from Christopher Walken.
Right.
Yeah, Walken's in this. He goes on stage, and the mayor of New York City, Robert Wagner, he brings
Number
him in.
two?
Played, I know, right?
For the Rotary Club.
The guy playing him is the mayor of Atlantic City in Boardwalk Empire. I got to point that out.
Rotary Club is real.
What is
Yeah.
the Rotary Club?
It
I
is
don't
the
know.
largest service organization in America. So if you give any service, you could be part of the Rotary Club. But it's for the betterment, basically, of like humanity, almost.
Could we join this as a podcast? Because we provide a service.
No, that would be cool.
What service do we
But I
provide?
think you have to pay.
Laughter and education.
Jocularity?
Joy.
Edutainment.
Edutainment. Oh, my God.
That's hot. Walken gives a great speech.
I hate his speech. I hate the mouse in the
What?
bucket thing.
Why?
I think you're supposed to think it sucks, right?
No.
Really? Because he says it later at the dinner, and it's like it's the dumbest thing ever.
Well, it's just
and then
hard as
and then the mother's just like, that was beautiful. I think you're supposed to be like, oh, this is stupid.
At that moment, it was stupid. The speech itself is good. Do you remember it?
Yeah, he
was
says
it?
there's two mice. They fall in a bucket.
of cream.
Yeah, and one of them drowns, and the other one struggles and turns it into butter and gets
Gets
out.
out. Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate
It's
it.
a
I
pull
hate it.
yourself up by the bootstraps
yeah, wow.
speech.
That's fine, but it stinks.
What a.
I don't like
Wow.
the imagery.
you don't like mice in the cream?
I don't like mice and cream. I don't like anything about it. Yuckaroo.
Turns it into butter. You do that with man butter.
I don't like that you're coming at me with your Mediterranean swarthiness. You look like the type of guy who would steal a housewife and take her away to some Greek island. You hang out on the beach in Mykonos, and you go up to young ladies and you go, well, actually, they're not even young. They're like middle-aged women, and you're like, have some Cabernet, madam.
Right.
Come with me to the Alfondi coast.
What part
He's a
of
cabana
this
boy.
is the insult? Because I'm at a loss. This sounds great. You know what you do? You buy expensive wines and dine beautiful ladies on a beach. You piece of shit. Oh, okay. My insult was you take a bucket of cum and turn it into man butter.
That's worse.
Do better.
That's definitely worse.
You need to do better.
Be better.
So I liked that speech. I don't know. Maybe
I like it too.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
you're just
I guess
So-
I'm a spoil sport.
So now we get so Christopher
the image of you running through a giant bucket of cum is disturbing and turning it into butter.
It's gross. It's gross.
and I don't like it.
I like it. No.
So
yes.
now it's like a little bit later, and Christopher Walken goes to Leo. He's like, hey, we got to get you a suit.
Well, hang on. We got to see
You meet the parents.
We got to see their Christmas, and they have this nice, loving family. And Walken gets to showcase his dance moves.
How pissed were you
Yes.
with the wand?
Weapon of choice.
Dude,
Dude, he's got moves. He can move.
Do you know he's like a trained dancer? He's like an amazing dancer.
I've seen the music video.
Yeah, he flies in that.
Oh, yeah.
Dances on ceilings.
He didn't use wires, by the way.
Right. That's
That's
just
him.
Christopher Walken.
Is that Fatboy Slim?
Yes.
Yeah. How were you uncomfortable seeing the wine on the floor and they just don't care? They just dance over
Yes.
it? You're uncomfortable?
Yes.
You know, someone came over to me and they said, you look like Fat Boy. And I know they meant to say Slim and they didn't.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
You know,
Someone called
that
you
was
fat?
that
Someone
was
called me Fat Boy.
Yeah.
Did you know that I was at a bar once?
tough.
I was at a bar with my wife. We were sitting at a table.
Yeah.
It was like an outdoor bar.
Sure.
And we were just having a couple drinks. And a guy, as he left, he was leaving, he just screamed at me, "Hey, Pavarotti!" Because he was saying I look like Pavarotti.
Oh, wow. He just had to let you know on the way out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you sing some opera at him?
No, I should. That would have been
That
funny.
would have been funny.
Yeah.
It's like I say,
But I
thank
was
you
just,
and,
I was just like, you're
soprano.
right. There's nothing I could say.
Yeah.
I do look like Pavarotti.
A younger, more handsome Pavarotti, but a Pavarotti at that.
So now we see his father smooth talking, and it's planting seeds of the influence he's going to have
Being
on
scam artist.
Yes.
Frank.
Yeah.
You know, charming their way to things. He makes Leo dress like a
His chauffeur.
Lies
as-
and bribes.
as he goes to the bank and tries to, pull a con job.
Yeah.
Well, he's cheated on his taxes, and the IRS is after him. That's the big revelation. here.
Yeah, yeah. And he wants a loan to pay off his debts because he just needs time. Otherwise, he's going to lose his house. He's going to lose his business. They're in a bad way financially.
They're financially fucked.
Yeah.
What happens, they are forced to move into a shitty apartment.
Yeah.
And they had a beautiful, nice home.
They lose the car.
They lose the car. They lose everything. The mother ends up
Cheating on him.
on him.
Now, from what I understand, this whole thing is fake. It's
All right.
it's made up for the movie.
So this is the important thing about the movie, and it's time to talk about the real movie.
The whole family angle is not part of the story in real life.
Okay.
Because
So
he ran away from home when
He
they
never saw his father
They got
again.
divorced. He stayed with his father briefly.
He never saw him again after he ran away.
He ran away from home and never saw either of them ever again.
Yeah.
He
At least
didn't
that's
like
what he
them.
said.
But then, kind of the whole thing with this movie is it's about redeeming his family somehow.
Also, like, there's
No.
a really bad joke before we get into that. What's she gonna be? A shoesman at a centipede farm?
Yeah, and everybody loved it.
Leo cracked up.
There's a weird.
I don't get. Was that funny?
I guess centipede has 100
they
legs.
have 100
They
feet.
need a lot of shoes.
that he basically, the joke is, what job is she going to do that's going to get us the money back to rebuild everything the government took from us?
sell mad shoes.
That's a really in-depth joke. To
I got
find
it.
Fun. Did you laugh as hard as Leo?
No, but he's the character in the movie.
So what's this really about?
All right. And this is the most important thing about the movie that we got to realize.
Pedophilia.
No.
Oh.
This is serious. All right. We need
There
to,
is.
we
there's
need
a lot.
we need to talk about the director.
Just saying.
The director of the movie
Yeah.
is Steven Spielberg.
You don't say.
Now, how
way.
much do you guys know about his personal life?
I'm not his friend.
Not
But,
a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Steven Spielberg famously, his parents got divorced at a young age, which is why there's so many divorces in all his movies, right? And it turns out that he discovered his mother was having an affair on his father, and it caused the dissolution of their marriage.
Okay.
Steven Spielberg has been dealing with this in all his movies forever. This is translated into here. Leo, basically shortly after he found out at around the age of a teen, Steven Spielberg started his movie career, kind of went off and did all his movie shit. Steven Spielberg is also Frank Abagnale Jr. because He is dealing with the fallout of his parents' divorce and carrying it with him and running from it. And it actually chronologically, if you follow Spielberg's life, around this time is when he started to confront it and like reconcile with his family.
How do you know that?
I've watched documentaries about him and shit. I'm a big Spielberg fan.
Okay.
So it's him reconciling with that. That's one part of the movie. The other part of the movie and what it's about is it is also about shitty fatherhood and shit fathers and weak men and how they transfer shit on. And Leo's father is a weak father and a weak man who passed on bad traits to his son. He never could tell him no. And Leo is begging. Leo,
for discipline.
He literally begs his father at one point, tell me to stop.
Yeah.
I'm begging for a father figure to
But he
to rein
actually
me
tells
in.
him to keep going.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, his
Because
father's
he's a
con
shit
man.
father.
His father was a con man.
And at the end, the person who's, Tom Hanks, who's been a divorced father, is his dad because he could discipline him. And that's ultimately why he comes back, because Tom Hanks is the good
father
dad.
he didn't have.
Yes, it's the father he didn't have.
I don't.
And that's actually what the movie is about. When you look at it like that, it's about weak fathers and strong fathers and family units.
I don't think there's any hidden subtext in that.
No, that's
straightforward.
I think
that's
everybody
what the
got
movie's
it.
No,
about.
that's forward. But the Spielberg divorce shit, you don't know that unless you know Spielberg.
Right, but that's why he put it into the movie, because that's why the
Right, and all of that is the
disparity
narrative of the
between the two,
movie. It's not based on any kind of truth.
Right.
No,
It's
that's not
based
real.
on
Like, he had
Spielberg.
siblings and shit.
Right.
That's Spielberg self-inserting himself several times in this movie, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. And his father opens a checking account for him, $25 for his 16th birthday, and he's like, they invested in Dogecoin, they're going to go to the moon. That's a line he says. I don't know. I didn't understand it. He was like, to the moon, I guess, you're going to be successful.
It's the 60s. Everybody's talking about the moon.
Real weird.
It's a big deal.
69.
Big
yeah.
moon.
The moon, we're going to be successful.
Pan Am.
We go to the moon, not because it is easy, but because it is hard.
And
like my
he's-
cock when I see Mimi Beardsley.
I like Mimi too.
Mimi? Yeah.
He's like, you're in their little club.
Yeah.
So
very
I like
cool.
the scene where Leo goes to school and he's posing as a substitute
He
teacher.
takes over the teacher.
It's so stupid.
It's shot like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
It's so
Yes,
silly.
yes.
It's so silly. It makes
But-
no sense.
in his book, what's his name? I keep forgetting.
Frank Abagnale.
Frank Abagnale says that for a while he actually posed as a professor at Brigham Young University in Utah. So that they didn't have that in the movie. So instead they threw this little piece in as another scam he was
I'm
doing.
going to go with a hard bullshit on that
I
one.
think it's a hard bullshit.
I could
That's
totally believe this.
That's a hard bullshit.
I think that one's easier than the doctor or the pilot
Yeah.
I mean,
or the lawyer. This seems to be the easiest one.
I don't think I've ever seen a 16-year-old and was like, that could be a professor.
He was abnormally large. Like he was like 6 foot, 260 pounds, and most people just took him as a full adult.
You
man.
also have to remember,
Yeah.
16-year-olds today look different than 16-year-olds.
Yeah, 16-year-olds in the 60s are like
30-year-old men.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
You know?
I don't know why that is. Must be something in the water.
Yeah. They put chemicals in the water.
Turning the
They're
frogs
fucking
gay.
Frogs gay.
And making people younger, I guess.
They're turning all the men into twinks
Wait, are they doing
with
us a
good
favor?
skincare. And they're not smoking from the age of 12.
Yeah.
There's a picture of him that will.
No, I saw- he's
that
in the
will-
movie.
That will come up.
The guy.
I'm talking about young Frank.
Oh.
I'm not talking.
Oh, Frank was better.
It's a little blurry.
Hey, man, you got a job.
It's a little blurry. It's loading, but I don't.
I could
think-
see that guy passing as a full adult.
I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I would not consider that an adult.
I could totally buy that he's a young teacher.
I
Yeah.
buy it. Yeah.
Okay. If I'm the outlier, you think that's a
Oh, yeah, I think you could totally
Yeah.
buy that. That's a young man right out of college.
Okay.
So while he was posing as a teacher, I got a memory that came rushing back
Oh.
of my days in Totterville High School.
Okay.
okay? Yeah.
So there was a French teacher
La Francais.
who I will leave nameless, and she would put a lot of notes on the board.
In French.
In French.
Okay.
No. That's what is Muzzy?
Michou la jeune fille.
Yeah.
Yes, that's French they're speaking. But these children aren't French. They're
American.
American. They've learned their amazing new language skills from Muzzy.
And
Muzzy was just a big green monster, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And he had echo on his voice so you couldn't hear the proper pronunciation.
Did you have it? You had Muzzy?
No, I saw the commercial
Oh, okay.
many times.
Oh, I think we all did, right?
It's like, what?
I did my teacher in Italian. I had an Italian teacher in like 8th grade who put Muzzy on in the class one day, and I was very excited because it's Muzzy.
That teacher was like hungover and was like, I'm just putting on fucking Muzzy today.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. But
French.
So she would put a bunch of notes on the board. And this period, it was junior year. They put me in like a dumb English class for some reason.
Dumb English.
Like, and I always got like minimum 80 in English without trying, right?
You got put in special.
And it wasn't
English?
special.
Remedial Brian.
It wasn't special, but like I was legit like a genius compared to the kids I was with. And I would look around and be like, they put me with the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. So every day I would just be so bored. I'd be like, can I go to the bathroom? And I would walk around the halls for like 20 minutes and then come back.
You'd see me.
Yeah. You weren't in the school. You would just leave.
I was just leaving.
But this same period, one of my friends had French on the same floor. And I would fuck with his teacher all the time. Like, I would run in and throw, like, erasers across the room or whatever. And one time, I was walking by and I saw her. She just finised writing on the board, and it was filled with notes. And I walk in, and I grab the eraser, and she's going, no! And I look at her, and I just start erasing the whole board. I wipe the board.
Boy, did karma get back at you.
And then I take it.
What mental fucking torture?
Well, this is why he was in this special class. Because you did shit like
It
this.
wasn't special. It
Yes,
wasn't
it
special.
was.
No, it wasn't.
You
No, it
did
wasn't.
shit like this. You got put in the special needs class.
You fucking ran it. So you're not even in a class.
No.
You run in from the hallway
I walk
and you
in.
erase a note.
for no reason, just to fuck with.
And then I take the eraser.
Then what'd you do? Run away?
No, I took the eraser and I point at my friend in the back of the room.
What is she doing? She's not trying to stop you?
She's like, no. Well, she can't grab me. She can't do anything.
All right.
No. I take the eraser and I fucking wing it at my friend. And then I leave the room. I like go to my class and that's it. She goes to my friend. That was your friend. And he's like, no, I don't know him. He's not my friend. And we had a wrestling match that day, so we had to wear like our wrestling warm-ups to school. And she goes,
knew you were on the wrestling team.
she's like, he's your friend. He has the purple pants.
Oh, the purple pants.
Yeah.
You
And
screwed your friend over.
she was like, no, I don't know him. He didn't rat me out, I got to say. And, you know, I got away with it. But I would go by her period like once a week and just fuck with her. Go by her class.
How rude.
Yeah. I'm a teacher
little
now.
Yeah, karma got back at you.
That's great. That's a great story.
Did I ever tell you that before?
No, I don't think so.
So the dad finds the teaching thing hysterical.
Yes.
Like, he's just like, this is fucking funny, because
As any dad would.
that's to his point.
Yes.
His dad should have punished him for that.
You're being an asshole.
Yeah.
Your father needs to reprimand you and say, don't do this.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know?
But he should keep his enjoyment of it private.
You keep it private, and then years later, you're like, that was really funny.
Yes.
Right.
That's the way you handle it.
Right.
You have to act like that's a big deal. And inside, you're like, this kid is fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
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 That's a good move. And then the mom gets caught cheating with the leader of the Rotary Club, or
His friend from the Rotary Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the president of the Rotary Club, which I guess is a big deal.
She bribes the son to keep quiet, and it's like, oof, that's
$10.
That's rough. It's rough. You need some money? Here you go. Her accent's kind of bad too. It's a French accent, but it goes in and out. It's just
Well, she's living in America for a bit, you know?
That was in a Rocky movie, right?
Yeah, Rocky IV.
And we get a really cool scene here. Dick Kessner. I'm Dick Kessner. and the parents are getting divorced, and it's like this really tense
yes.
moment between like Frank Jr., his dad, and the mom, and it's really like it's well done. Obviously, it's fucking Spielberg, but I enjoyed it. It makes you feel bad.
Yeah.
I related to it.
You did.
So obviously, like Spielberg's mother had an affair. My father had an affair. I discovered it. Spielberg discovered it in this movie. Leo discovers it. So it does hit home more personally for me when I watch it because I go back to that time.
How'd you find
and
out?
those emotions. So
If you're willing to tell us.
of course I am. I'll talk about anything. So I remember that my father started acting suspicious and shady, right? And I was just getting vibes, and I was like, something's wrong here. He's not acting the way he normally does. And I remember there was one time he was driving me to Steve's house. He was giving me a ride. And he never wants to give me rides, like especially Steve's. It's not far. It's like a mile. It's a 10-minute walk, And he wants to give me a ride, and I'm like, something's up. And while we're there, we're talking, and he asked me something like, "How would you feel, if me or your mother we got a divorce?" And I was like, "It depends why." And he's like, there was like an affair or something, and I'm like,
So he confessed.
He didn't confess. I think he was seeing
Testing
what
the
my
waters,
reaction
yeah.
would be. And I was like, I would stop talking to whichever parent did this because they don't have any honor or anything. And I just kept it in the back of my head, and I was like, okay, I'm clocking things here, and I'm figuring it out first. And then one day, my father's phone, like his work phone, went off, and he wasn't there. I was like, he always gets calls from this numbers and then walks outside or goes away. Something's up. So I pick up the phone after he missed the call, and I dial it, and a woman answers.
Oh, you called it back.
I called it back, and a woman answers. I'm like, okay. And I am just turning 18. And I'm like, okay, I could piece this together.
You didn't speak to the woman.
I just listened, and she was like, hello, Mike? Or she said something that made it clear to me.
That it wasn't a work call.
Hey, sweetie pumpkin.
Something like that, And
Yeah.
I was like, It's like, hey, I want to fuck you.
Hi, Daddy.
You showed up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I
You had
posed.
the bull. Now here's the calf.
I pose as my dad, and I'm really skinny at the time, so I wear
a hat on.
I wear. Steve, I need to stand on your shoulders.
Yeah, we did the trench coat thing.
Yeah. My dad I was skinny at the time. He was fat. I stuffed pillows into my shirt.
Yeah.
You go dress as Darth Vader, like fucking Revenge of the Nerds.
Fake mustache.
Yes.
Rape the
Right.
girl.
Everyone has a good laugh about it, for
Yeah.
30 years.
Right.
Yeah.
She enjoys it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, nerds only think about sex.
That's right.
Right. Of course.
Anyway, so after that, I was like, okay, I'm piecing this together. And then we were out to eat on my 18th birthday. We went out to a restaurant, and we're at the table, and my father gets a call from the number, and he gets away. And I was going to talk to my mom about it privately, right?
This woman can't stop calling him, can she?
Yeah.
It's a fucking problem.
Out
man.
out for his son's birthday,
Yeah.
And it's me, my mother, and sister at the table. And I was like, Mom, I got to tell you something. And she goes, you think your father's having an affair, don't you? And I was like, yeah, I do. That's what I was going to talk to you about.
So
and-
she knew.
She was
like it.
clocking it too, but I was, that was the moment we all decided. We went back, and then
You confronted him.
there was a confrontation. Everything came to light. I remember I was really devastated. I remember I ran, kind of like the movie. I ran down the street, and I sat on the corner of no one cares, it doesn't matter, but not Wynant, the other block going the other way, and I sat on that stoop, and I sat there crying.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and I was very
Sad.
upset. So obviously, I can relate to this movie in that regard. And obviously the Spielberg.
This is
of
post
it.
that movie, obviously, so this must pop
I
in
had
your head.
seen it. It didn't pop in. The movie didn't pop into my head. And I don't think I really had watched it that much since. But this might be the first time since then where I was really
Brought you back.
Yeah, it brought me right back to that moment. You know?
Wow. That's interesting and sad.
Make us laugh, guys.
I already did that. Do you think that's why you like it more? Because it's very relatable to you.
I think I get more out of it now for several reasons. I know about the Spielberg stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I relate to that element. I'm also getting ready to be a father.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is about fatherhood and, good
That's
dads
certainly
and
an
bad
element
dads.
of the movie.
So I think it just hit me in a good spot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it. So just like you ran down the block, he runs down the block, but he goes to catch a train. You know?
Yeah, so
and
just,
he pays.
I did too. I caught the Staten Island Railroad, but it just brought me to the ferry and back.
Yeah,
I
you're still stuck.
I couldn't get away.
Because you don't have a check to write for $3.50.
Yeah.
So he writes a check for $3.50, and at that time the ticket teller realized it was a 7-foot monster from the Plesiozoic era. There you go. There's some.
she gave him $1.
You give him $1, he's gonna assume we got more dollars.
I started laughing real hard when he was like $3.50. I was like, oh! I'm like, I knew it. He wants the free.
You became the Leo meme from
Yes, it was
from
me,
Once
yeah.
Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
Just briefly about the real guy and what happened with his family. Like,
Yes.
they had gotten a divorce. In the movie, he runs away like that day and
Mm-hmm.
doesn't come back. He lived with his dad for a while, and during that time, he was doing like petty crimes. And like,
Yeah, like
I think he was kind of
He robbed Tom Petty's house, right?
He robbed Tom. Oh yes, he was doing petty,
Petty
crimes. Yes. He was living like a refugee, and he didn't
Yeah.
have to do that.
He pushed a woman down the stairs and said, "You're free falling."
He ran down a dream, beat it up.
God.
There's another big Tom Petty song, and
Themed crime.
it's like a shitty Batman villain.
Crime.
There's a big Tom Petty song, and I can't nail it in my head. It's driving me nuts.
He's got a million hits.
But there's one giant one in particular. Fuck.
The Petty Crime Task Force. It's just giant petty fans. Looking for any similarities.
But yeah, he did like.
Well, when
petty
he was
crime.
arrested, he wouldn't back down.
That's right. Hey, there ain't no easy way out.
You know who he fell in love with?
Who?
An American girl.
That's right. He did.
Right. Holy shit. So yeah,
All right,
he's-
All right,
Continue.
since
he's
we're
doing
talking
petty
about
crimes.
petty, let's talk about the greatest scene in film history.
Postman.
Yeah.
What a
Where are we
stretch.
going?
When else are we gonna get a chance?
When we do the show about dystopias.
Yes. 3 years from now.
So I don't know if anyone's ever seen the film The Postman, starring Kevin Costner.
Fucking cost it.
Towards the end of that movie, Costner discovers a town built into the side of a dam.
Yeah.
The town is run by Tom Petty.
Who's
But here's
playing
the thing:
himself?
he's playing himself,
And Costner,
and Costner recognizes him as Tom Petty.
You're.
He-
I was.
I was.
I remember the first time me and you saw that.
It's
It's so good.
so good.
I love the Postman.
so
Postman's
ridiculous.
amazing.
It's so ridiculous.
Waterworld. It's Waterworld on land.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, Tom Petty's like, dude, be easy. We're not talking about what happened back then.
Yeah.
That's the old
It's
society.
the old society. Here, I'm just like you.
Guy. I'm just Tom. It's so absurd.
All right, so he's doing petty
He's doing
crime.
petty crimes.
Yeah, and when he did finally run away from home, he never saw either of them ever again.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what-
He never spoke to them again.
And that was the end of his relationship with his parents. Now, in the movie, this goes on and is a recurring thing.
And he
throughout
talks to them. Yeah.
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 So yeah, that's where we're at.
That's a difference.
Ran away to New York City and became a con man.
The big city.
No. That's the place to do it at the time if you're gonna.
Sure.
It is so like when you watch like old things, it is so easy to commit crimes.
It seems that way.
Like,
There's no
the
DNA.
Yeah.
There's no like paper trails. Paper trails are like days behind. You can get away
Yeah.
before anyone even
There's
realizes
there's
a
not
crime's been committed.
surveillance every like corner, you know?
High trust society.
Well, they didn't have the means.
Sure.
Yeah,
You know?
I don't know so much high trust, but it
I think it's just
definitely,
like, what the fuck can we do?
Yeah,
And you need people to do shit like this, so you're like, oh, this is a flaw in the system that we must fix.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
And then he starts noticing the Pan Am pilots being like fucking rock stars
Yup.
on the streets.
Now, is that real? Like, were they really held in that high regard? Like, holy shit, it's a fucking pilot.
commercial air travel was fairly new.
Yeah.
And I think these people were seen as like kind of
Rarities.
cool. You know, people drew like little kids were like, I want to be a pilot.
When I think of pilot now, I think like
Well,
an
air travel-
old alcoholic, you know?
air travel nowadays is not as glamorous as it once was.
No,
you know?
you're-
you had the sexy stews, and the
Yeah.
fucking you go, you smoke your cigarette on the
Exactly.
plane.
You give everyone cancer.
Eat a 4-course dinner like with steak. It's like.
It was luxurious.
Yeah, flying on an airplane back in the day was like this is
A thing.
This
It was
is
a big
some
thing.
cool high end shit we're doing.
Now you're next to someone who's
Now-
spilling out on your lap.
Now it's rare people can go to an airport without a brawl happening. We really have no respect for the amazing technology that's happening. Man is in the air in a steel dragon. And we have no respect for that at all.
Well, you got to stand up and shout when you're on the steel dragon.
Yeah, it's just how do you not make that joke?
What? Oh, Marky
Stand
Mark
up and
Wahlberg?
shout. Yeah. Don't you hate flying, Steve?
I
hate flying.
Okay, I dislike heights in general.
Okay.
But flying specifically because of the heights. But the main thing is I don't have control of the plane. If that makes any sense, I have to put my trust into somebody else with this machinery. That there's a good chance
So if we stuck you in the cockpit, you'd be all
I'd
right
feel
with it.
more. I swear I would feel more comfortable with me in the cockpit
Come on,
flying. Dude, it's just no. It's
I
the
could
same
fly
thing.
better than the pilot.
No, I'm not
I know
saying
it.
that. It's
I played Flight Simulator like 300 hours.
It-
Hey,
I
that's what
trust-
saved the day in
I
Snakes on a
trust
Plane.
myself more than other people. That's all. I feel the same way in cars with you guys.
I mean, you're driving with Ed.
Dude, have you ever been in the car with him?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm a great driver. I'm one of the best.
How many accidents have you been in? How many totaled cars? 3 totaled cars?
Yeah.
You totaled 3 cars?
No, I didn't total 3 cars. I totaled 1 car. 2 cars. 2 cars.
For the metal fans out there.
And the second one I was rear-ended. It wasn't my fucking fault.
Right. For the metal fans out there, a good friend of ours once said your driving has more abrupt stops than a Meshuggah album. So if you're a metal fan,
It's funny.
It's a funny joke. Guys.
Funny joke.
a good
not
joke.
accurate. I'm a great driver. I'm one of the best. I'm ranked among one of the best.
I'm terrified driving with either of you. Brian scares the fuck out of me driving because he plays Pokemon Go while driving the entire time.
Not the entire time.
What the fuck?
It's terrible. Like, we'll be on the highway, and I'm like, Brian, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. And I look, and he's playing Pokemon Go. So here's his dash, and and he looks, swerves.
You're going to kill a family.
He's going to kill someone.
No.
Maybe
They're,
not a
they're
family.
not out at that time.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel more comfortable driving myself than with other people, similar to any vehicle. It's just
You like the
vehicles in
movie
general.
Driving in Cars with Boys?
I've never seen it. Sorry.
Brian?
Never saw it.
Wow, it's one Brian's never seen.
That is a rare.
Have you
it's a
seen
rarity.
it?
No, I haven't
Okay,
seen
yeah.
anything. If it's not on this show, I haven't seen it.
I don't watch these moving pictures.
This is the devil's work.
But no, that's just me. That's me with flying. You know?
All right, so he finds out that pilots will get $300 for a payroll check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, bingo.
There's a $300 man.
Yep.
So he makes fraudulent Pan Am checks.
Yeah.
Yes.
And his system is really cool. He takes like toy planes and takes the sticker off and puts it on a check.
And according to his book, this is all very true. Is
Yep.
what he did.
This
You know
is
how
how
much
he
that
did it.
is per check today?
No, I didn't look it up.
$2,300 per check.
That's a pretty good check.
God dang, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he stole a lot of money.
Yeah. And the way they show that he got his uniform, his Pan Am uniform, is what he did.
Yep.
He called the uniform office and said he lost it and had to get it replaced quickly. So
And they're just like, yeah, sure.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just go here. We have a bunch of them.
Are you my deadhead?
Yeah.
A smile.
And he's like, yeah, man, I love Jerry.
Now,
Why am I just like boomer rock reference guy today?
Do you like them?
No, I don't smoke weed.
They stink.
I don't think I've really ever heard anything.
I like Terrapin Station. That's a good song.
I can't even think of it.
it's something, once again, I think we mentioned this before. It's something we should have gotten into more,
The Grateful Dead?
but like didn't. Yeah. Like I should know more.
Actually,
about it.
I feel like that's like not our world at all.
It's not, but there's such a staple.
It's like if you like fish,
Yeah.
not the fish we like.
No, the pH fish.
yeah, pH fish.
Yeah.
Like, I
Like
might
you like
more.
that.
Yeah.
It's weed music.
Now, here's something that I mentioned before where you looked at me like, why'd you say that? Marcy. Let's talk about Marcy for a second. Do you know
The
Marcy?
stewardess.
The stewardess who is in Grey's Anatomy. She's a star of Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, is that Meredith Grey? Also in Old School.
She's a great actress. She's the one who says, "You're my deadhead," and he gives her a necklace and they bang.
Yeah.
She fucked a 16-year-old.
Oh,
She
you
fucked
mean
a
in the
16-year-old.
movie?
In the movie, there's a lot of underage sex in this.
He's a guy.
It's also the 60s.
It's also the 60s. But it's okay because the time period and the story. But realistically, you can't say there isn't pedophilia in this movie. He fucks multiple women when he's underage.
He's a guy.
He's trying to bang hot chicks.
I'm not saying I disagree with what he did.
Just have fun with the movie. Shut
I'm
up.
saying you can't say factually that there's no pedophilia in this. There is.
Well, it's Spielberg, so this is what he does.
Classic Hollywood.
All right. Marion from Raiders of the Lost Ark was supposed to be like 12, right?
That was a George Lucas suggestion. George Lucas wanted.
Careful.
George Lucas wanted Marion to be like a 12-year-old girl, and Spielberg was like, I think she should be a little older. And then they kind of kept it nondescript.
Right.
No, that's true.
Lucas was just sitting there. Come on, just keep
This
her-
is his MO. Look what he did with Yoda. A yaddle, rather.
Well, I
What were you expecting?
I was egging
What
him
were you
on.
expecting?
I was egging him on.
well, Yaddle, the thing with the species is they subside for the first 3 years of the
They what?
the Yaddle creatures, the Yoda creatures.
Yeah. Did you say subside?
Yeah, they exist exclusively on breast milk for
Oh,
the
he means
first 4 years.
subsist.
Subsist. Sorry. I'm into my aliens, so I don't have time to think of
right.
the English
Of
language.
course,
You know,
George.
I'm busy writing the Gungan language,
Oh, really?
Right.
which of course means go fuck yourself in Gungan.
I was asking for that one.
Anyway, so the Yoda creatures,
Right.
the females need extraordinarily large breasts
Uh-huh.
because they need 5 times the milk
To
of
give
an
to the
average
young,
cow
right.
to give to the young.
Right.
So
This is fascinating
That
stuff.
is why Yaddle had such giant knockers.
This is why you're the genius.
Yes.
Yes, this is always what my intention was when I made it.
Right.
I'm gonna go now.
Bye, George.
So he bangs a stewardess, and then he goes to a bank, and he sees Betty Brant, Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah. A lot of big
Miri.
names here who are right before they became famous.
Miri?
Miri from
Tell
Zack
him,
and
Jim?
Miri.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tell him, Jim.
He's swinging his dick around. He's learning the ways
He's
of the
getting
art
information from her about the banks and how it works.
by using his looks and charm and his
Yes.
scamming ways that his father taught
A
him.
charming young man.
And
And all of these
He's writing
dumb
home.
bimbos just eat it up.
eat it up. Eat it up. He's writing his father.
Be good looking and successful, you could go far.
Carry around a necklace to just
Yeah.
hand off.
Give baubles
Bribe.
and trinkets.
Just bribing.
Females are dumb. They're like cats. Just hold a shiny object. They get tricked.
That really is the message here.
I mean, good subtext, right? Oh my God.
I mean, really, it's the 60s. They're putting women in the workforce now, and look at what happens.
So he does something brilliant.
He buys a router.
Yes, from a bank foreclosure,
Yes.
which is brilliant.
There's a lot of ingenious counterfeiting.
For a young
things.
man,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous.
Pretty
and
cool.
It's
This is kind of the best shit in the movie.
definitely questionable.
Him
if
learning
it's
to do
real.
it, right?
Yeah.
The scams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we see the contrast between what he's doing and then who's about to tell him, which is Hanratty.
Yeah.
And Hanratty's explaining the forgery of a check and what it means and the routing numbers and all this. And his assistants and the people who work under him just don't give a fuck. They don't respect the guy.
He gets laughed at.
Well, that scene was so that we, the audience, learn how this works.
Yes.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
the people, I've never seen a scene that was more blatantly, we're talking to the audience now.
It's an exposition
Yeah,
dump.
right?
Of course.
But it's an entertaining exposition
Yes.
dump.
But it also explains how he got away with a lot.
Not
of this.
like when Han and Leia were talking to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
You remember that?
Oh my God.
That's one of the worst scenes ever written.
In Force
pretty bad.
Awakens.
It's
The
pretty
Force
bad.
Awakens.
Our
pretty
son.
bad.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Our son, who we liked him, but now he's bad.
It's that level of dialogue.
Yeah.
Two people would never talk like that.
Yes.
That movie is for imbeciles.
Yeah.
For me.
No, Force Awakens is for. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
you missed the joke.
For
yeah.
Full House fans.
Yes.
Right. It's for
People
who
stand
really
there, they're like,
like
"Yay, Tanner family!" And then they watch Force Awakens and they laugh their asses off.
right. I loved it. But it also explains something important here is actually real life. It takes about a week to find the fraud.
Week to 2 weeks, yeah.
So that explains a little bit of
Because
how he
he's-
was able to get away with this for
He's
so long.
making the checks, like, because he's in New York, and he makes them payable to the bank in San Francisco.
They call it a
yeah.
float.
Yeah.
So it takes forever for them
2
to
weeks.
Right.
So
get
he could
where
always
they
he
need
could go
to.
from place to place
Obviously,
every
this
week.
would not be possible in today's
No.
day and age.
Oh no. That's very difficult.
Right. I remember I bounced a check once. They hung it up in the local bodega. Had the clowns. Did
Really?
we do this one already? Yeah.
I did this one, yeah. Which is why Steve got it instantly.
Never mind.
One day I'm going to get you guys. I'm going to get you guys one day. Don't worry about when.
You're gonna reference Seinfeld for us. We'll love it.
I guarantee you I'm going to do a reference that neither of you will get.
yeah,
I'm gonna go
I could
dig deep.
Any of us
I'm
could
gonna dig
do
deep.
that. You want people to be able to get it.
I'm going to get some. I'm going to do one. And we'll see.
Okay.
I'm going to get you back.
This is ominous.
Yeah. Feel that tension.
He's scary. What are we doing?
Well, Frank
Oh.
takes his dad out for dinner.
And he bought his father a Cadillac.
Red.
Oh yeah, we
Cadillac.
Now-
fast forward a little bit into the future.
Now
and-
this is something that happened to a friend of mine. He bought his father a Cadillac.
That,
So
I thought of this
that-
watching the movie.
That hand. Right there. That's all I needed to know.
He bought his father a Cadillac, my friend, and it actually caused division in the senior community when he gave him the Cadillac.
Really?
Yeah, they thought that he was embezzling funds
Well, he was holding office in the.
from the board. He was president of the
Right.
board. Do you know
what happened to that Cadillac?
They had to sell it to Jack Klompus.
Yeah.
And he had it, and it became a whole thing.
what a
you
Did
know?
it end up in a swamp?
It ended up in a swamp, yeah. And my friends, the Costanzas, were going to move to Del Boca Vista. They were going to be in the pool.
They can be on the
Shuffleboard court. They're going to be in the clubhouse. But they saw my friend sleeping inside the Cadillac. And after that, they couldn't
Right.
stay. He could not abide the homeless.
That phone message is one of the best moments on the whole show.
So fucking funny. I drive with my wife, and I'll just say sometimes, I'm going to be in the pool, going to be in the clubhouse.
We're moving in, lock, stock, and barrel.
At what point does
what's happening in this
at
movie?
what point does this just turn into Brian Seinfeld time? Like that's
Well, if you keep harping on it, it's
The
gonna right
show-
now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to move on.
The bit is done.
I meant the whole show in general.
When I can't wait for like in 10 years, someone's gonna do like a Seinfeld biopic about like the show. Many called it the greatest sitcom ever, but there was a dark secret, and it's gonna be like the Seinfeld theme, like doom, 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 doom. And it's gonna be like about the behind the scenes drama of it and shit.
Was there behind?
Not really. No, they don't seem to get along.
They seem well. I mean, yeah. Anyway, he denies the Cadillac. He says like I can't do that. The IRS will take it. They'll investigate you. I think it was actually kind of try to protect his son. He knew he was doing some bad things. The father's not an idiot.
Yeah,
Like he's not responsible, but he's not dumb.
He's on the down and out.
Yeah.
They had to close up the shop, and he's like broke.
Yep. And I think it's a quick shot that's really not paid off, but it's revealed in like one shot that their business is a stationery store, which they really don't talk about. But like, I guess he learned the
I
trade.
think you're right, and I think I saw that and didn't think about it. Like when I was looking up the real guy, I think you're right. He had worked like with paper and stuff.
Yeah,
and
they owned a stationery store, which is why
played into why he's so good at this.
he's so good at it and familiar with it, and he knows how to do shit. And they don't talk about it in the movie, but they show one shot, I forget where, of the outside of the building as like Christopher Walken is walking in. And it's like, oh, that explains why he knows so much about this and
Yeah,
like
that
how to
should have
cut
been-
and
Maybe that was like cut out of the movie or something because it should be it should be explained a little bit better.
it should be like a one-line thing, but I
Right.
guess showing the exterior, it's there if you're looking
if you
for
noticed
it.
it did its job.
Exactly.
Right. And we find out he married his wife only after 6 weeks. His Frank's father.
Oh yeah.
6 weeks later, she was my wife. He gets all emotional. That's a bad move. 6
Well,
weeks.
it was wartime. People were dying. This used to go on.
This is how
Yeah,
it was.
I guess, yeah.
It's also like there's still that thing where people aren't just rampantly fucking. It's like we have to get married and
Right,
do the
right.
honorable thing.
My grandmother
before we
married
fuck.
her husband, in Britain in 1945. Actually 44, I think they got married. So, everyone thinks they're gonna die. So
I get it.
They
Yeah, that
they got to
makes
get
sense.
shit done.
That makes sense.
It's also like you're 18, time to get married and have kids.
Right.
Yeah. Where you going tonight, Frank? Where you going?
And he's going to
A glory hole.
No, he's going to Hollywood,
He's
what
going
he
on.
says.
yeah.
Yeah.
but he's not.
Nope.
No, he's
Now the real guy, he did all this. He deadheaded on all these flights and made it around the world like multiple times.
A deadhead is just they're giving you a lift to another airport, right?
Yes.
Yeah, free lift. You never had to fly because he would crash the plane.
Because he's and he would do it with other airlines that aren't Pan Am. It'd be like he's a Pan Am pilot taking a ride from TWA, let's say, to the next.
Hopefully not Flight 800.
Oh, remember that? That's a reference to the late '90s.
Wow.
I remember when I was
That used to be the big airplane disaster
Yeah.
before
It
9/11.
was certainly
Yeah.
eclipsed. I was fascinated by that when it happened.
Oh, me too.
I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I cut out a bunch of news articles. And I was like, "This is a historical event," and I kept them for years.
I picture you making a board,
Yeah.
trying to figure out
red
what
yarn.
happened.
You remember, like people were saying it was hit by a missile and all.
Yeah,
this shit?
yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, this is going to be important. And I held on to that for a while. I had the TWA news article.
They
from,
found the black
from
box,
like the
right?
New York Post.
Yeah.
Why
it
don't-
happened right over Long Island.
Every time there's a plane crash, the only thing left is the black box. Why not just make the whole plane out of the black box?
What's the deal with the black box?
Is that a Jerry bit?
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like it's just an old comedy bit.
So, cut back to Hanratty, who's with his partners, who are just not the top brass. He doesn't.
It's Garnier.
like them. He does a great joke. Knock knock. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
That's a good knock knock joke.
I laughed. It
That's
was
solid.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know how those guys didn't laugh because that was fucking comedically
It was
brilliant.
Great. Yeah.
The guy in the back seat is Garnier from Band of Brothers. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
I didn't see
Yeah.
that.
It was fresh off that show, too. Right around
Yeah,
that time.
it's not far removed. All right, it's time, guys. So it's in the papers. Talk about this con man, and he is called the James Bond of the sky.
You're missing something.
What am I missing? That's important.
Hanratty. He approaches him with the gun.
Oh, that scene. I skipped it.
He's going.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going into
A Miami
like motel hotel thing, and he's saying like, we're looking for this person with the checks, and the person at the front desk is like, well, I don't want
It's Los Angeles.
It's
Los
LA.
Angeles? Oh, sorry. So he's like, I don't want to bother my guest, and they're like, he's still here. So he takes out the gun, and this is where you could tell that Hanratty is a buffoon. Like
He's not a buffoon.
Excuse me, he's not.
He's a desk jockey.
He's a desk jockey. Yes, that's what I meant to say.
If you notice, when he goes up the stairs and the housekeeper confronts him, and he shows her his badge. But if you it's backwards.
Yeah. Yep,
If you
I
catch-
noticed that.
And he can't get the gun out.
Yeah,
He's
she's
shaking,
nervous as fuck.
So he's clearly not a man of action.
Right.
You know, he
This is
hasn't
the first-
been in the
this is
field.
the first time for him.
Right. And this is why he gets tricked. You know, because you could kind of take it away from here if you want. He finds Leo. He finds Frank. And Frank pretends to be the Secret Service.
Well, he comes out of the bathroom all cool, calm, and collected.
In a
He was
suit.
Just
Yeah.
He was a smooth criminal.
Right.
You've been hit by. You've been struck by. Smooth criminal. Da-da-da-da-da. Which one's better?
Animal, Alien, Ant Farm.
That
I don't
one's
know why
better?
I said animal twice. Alien Ant Farm version is so much better than the Michael Jackson version.
Okay.
I'll take the new metal.
All
I
right.
don't give a fuck.
I don't disagree with you there. I like that.
I know you agree.
I do agree. I love that
I
one.
think that's a. Wow, that's a consensus there.
Joe Pesci was in the Michael Jackson video.
Yeah, he is. He's in Smooth Criminal.
Yes.
I gotta rewatch it now.
He played a smooth criminal in a bunch of Scorsese movies.
He did.
And Home Alone.
Yes. He wasn't very smooth.
No, he wasn't
Home
smooth
Alone,
in that
no.
one.
Sticky Bandit.
He's definitely tough in that though.
Yeah.
Well, they're basically immortal. I'm convinced they're vampires.
Well, I like he tells him he's like, my name is Barry Allen, the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
Barry Allen.
And
Yeah, there's
You want my gun too?
there's
Take
an
my gun.
MC Brain 1-2 punch with this whole thing.
comics
There
and
We got
Yeah,
comics
there
and
is.
James Bond. I was like, oh, no wonder we're watching this movie.
yeah. The comic thing is so little though.
Right.
You know? Like most people won't even pick up on that.
If it was the Mets instead of the Yankees,
Oh,
forget
yeah.
it. This would be Brian's favorite movie.
You want my gun too? Here, look, check my wallet. And he doesn't check the wallet. He's like, see, he's escorting the guy out. There's a blind guy getting put in the front seat of the car.
Blind guys don't sit in the front seat.
How many criminals go into the front seat?
That's a good point.
So
well,
right there, it's
he
like,
could have
oof.
extra agents with him sitting in the back, you know.
Maybe 60. Who knows?
It's a high stakes situation. He's getting the adrenaline dump. He's not thinking.
Not thinking.
You know,
And he gets
Leo's
tricked.
smooth talking him. He gets tricked. Leo escapes.
Yes.
And he gets Hanratty gets reprimanded by his boss,
Yeah.
and he tells a great knock joke again.
Yeah, he says, knock, knock, go fuck yourself again.
Well, he doesn't say it this time.
It cuts.
Knock.
We
and
know
it
what he
cuts.
says,
It's
yeah.
like let's go on.
All right. So now we get, he finds out that he's called the James Bond of the sky.
He likes that.
And he likes that.
So he gets himself a car.
Well, not just a car. He goes and sees Goldfinger.
Yeah.
And Goldfinger has a huge impact on him. He goes and gets the Aston Martin DB5.
And the 3 suits.
And he gets the James Bond suit from Goldfinger.
3 of them, yeah.
And I am like, yes.
I want to do that.
This is what you would do.
And they're playing the theme. Oh, yeah, I would become James Bond. If I was rich enough, I would like only be rocking like James Bond outfits.
Well, your wedding outfit was a James Bond suit.
Yeah, I wore the Goldfinger tux
Yeah.
to my wedding.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
It looks good.
It
Yeah.
did. Yeah, you pulled it off.
There's a picture of it up right now.
Yeah. I hope it's me in the chair.
Oh, yeah. It's the chair shot. It's the chair shot.
But I want to talk about this a little deeper.
The Bond
because
thing?
yes,
Okay.
Spielberg. Again, this is Spielberg putting parts of himself into the movie. He saw Goldfinger. He talks about it in 1964, and it blew him away. Now, I'm going to be
that one.
Well, hold on. Let me talk for 1 second. So, a lot of film people will tell you the first blockbuster is Jaws.
Brian told me to shut the fuck up. Just
No. I didn't.
Yeah, he said,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
A lot of people will tell you that the first blockbuster is Jaws. It's not. It's actually Goldfinger. Goldfinger was a huge smash hit, tons of hype. People lined up to see it around the blocks. Big hit. Spielberg saw it at the right age, blew him away, became a Bond fanatic, went and saw all the James Bond shit. Always wanted to make a James Bond film.
Okay.
Around right after
Why didn't he?
Right after Jaws, he goes to the Broccolis. Right as Close
That's
Encounters
Rob
is happening.
and Steamed.
Yes. I've always thought
Personally, I like it raw.
broccoli would be a great name for a guy named Rob, like a great nickname.
Wow.
But the Broccolis are the producers of the Bond franchise. And he went to them and was like, I want to direct a Bond. And they were like, no, you're not experienced enough. And his Bond would have probably been Moonraker. It
Wow.
didn't happen. He, becomes Steven Spielberg. He was bummed about...
This was post Jaws,
Yeah, he was bummed about not getting Bond.
so he never went back.
He was on a beach vacation with George Lucas and was like, they fucking didn't hire me for Bond. It's all I've ever wanted to do is a Bond movie. I can't believe this. And he's like, I have something better.
What's that, George?
It's about an archaeologist he's an explorer. And not many know this, but he actually has micropenis.
It's a micro penis.
Yes, and he's not really able to use it, and he overcompensates by doing all these heroic acts. And I would like you to direct this movie.
I don't know if there's a story there, George. I mean, why would he have a micro penis?
Well, he has it, and because of this, he feels the need to do research and study and go on adventure to impress the ladies and overcompensate for his microphallus. You see?
Right. The
It's like
sex-
poetry.
I mean, you're the genius, George.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't really
It's
say
like
no
poetry.
to you.
It rhymes.
It rhymes.
Yeah,
Yes.
sex drives everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he presents Indiana Jones to Spielberg, and they do it, which is why in the third one, Sean Connery is the father of Indiana Jones.
Oh, that was okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And, Spielberg never got to do a Bond movie. I would love for them to give him the next one.
Well, he could have
He
done
out-
it the second, and anytime he decided he wanted to do one, it would get done.
After Indiana Jones, he got too big, and he said, they can't afford me anymore.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like they could kind of meet in the right spot now, and it could happen personally. But this was his way to finally get to play with the Bond thing, and we got to see a little hint of what a Spielberg Bond would be. And it's fucking awesome.
Well, that is the best one, in my opinion.
Goldfinger?
No, Last Crusade is the best Indiana Jones.
No, I'm talking about this sequence.
Don't. I don't think Spielberg would do a good Bond. I think Spielberg is very good at doing emotional things, and Bond, I don't like seeing emotional.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. He could do Bond.
I don't know.
He'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right up his alley.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll do it. Maybe. Maybe someone will hear this and be like, pitch it.
Yeah,
knows?
Broccolis, call me.
Broccolis,
I'll
yeah.
cast it. All right, for the Bond girl, I need a hot chick with giant tits.
Bigger.
Bigger.
Call George.
Yeah,
Lucas.
George.
George,
will
call
do
it.
Do we have any with 3 boobs?
So now, let's get back to the movie, shall we?
Yeah.
Because he's dressed up like Bond. He's driving
Yes.
the Bond
The
car,
Aston Martin.
and he gets the Bond girl,
Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Gardner, who was also, pedophilia, because he's now 17 at the time, I believe.
He scams the hooker.
He
Yes.
scams
He
the hooker.
outhooks the hook.
That happened in real life.
That's
is
what
what
I
he
heard
says.
too. Yeah.
This is the one
Exactly
thing he
as it
said.
happens in the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, he says this is the only time he actually scammed someone individually. Was this?
He said she called the cops.
Yeah. The
Really?
next day.
Yep.
Wow.
When she got fucked.
Right.
Wow.
What do we know Jennifer Garner from?
She is Ben
Electra.
Affleck's wife.
Electra.
Oh.
She's Electra.
Oh.
She was on
Why, that was the
Alias.
first thing that popped in my head.
She is one of the girlfriends in Dude, Where's My Car of the twins.
Oh. Okay. I know her.
She is not one of the ones who says, we are hot chicks
No.
with large breasts.
No, that was a whole different thing.
Her tits do get big at the end of the movie,
Yes,
though.
Yes.
By a necklace or something like that.
What a wonderful time for film.
Yes. Now, I loved Dude, Where's My Car? And when I saw this, I was like, it's the chick from Dude, Where's My Car? She's one of the twins.
The Bubble Bunch.
Didn't she? She also did like a coming of age movie. I think.
Zoltan!
13 going on 30.
That was her real big break. That
was
and
the real
Alias.
thing, yeah. Yeah. And Daredevil. She's in Daredevil.
She did Daredevil. That
I'm
was
look-
after this.
Adam Project. She did a bunch of stuff.
She's in a lot of movies. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so what happens with
they
this?
have such an extended scene here. You think like she's going to be a player in the film. You know, they give her so much character, and then she's just in this one scene, and that's it. It's over.
It's just little like bits of Frank's like adventure.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying when we first started. I said I didn't know what I was supposed to get out of this movie, and it's things like this that really throw me off. It's like this adds really very little to the movie, you know, to any kind of meaning to it, and yet it's giving such a large chunk of time in the film. It's like 5 minutes.
You're meant to just have fun with it.
I guess so.
You know?
This is also showing that this young guy is very savvy, like more savvy than the average person. I think this is his transfer of being a petty criminal to a real criminal is this moment, the Bond moment with the girl.
It's his
You know what I mean?
graduation.
Yeah, that's the. It's
To where
the
he's not
transfer.
stumbling through it anymore. Now he's a
a
true
professional
con man.
Yes, that's why.
He knows
Okay.
exactly what he's doing.
Fine.
Right, and what happens is he just
He negotiates with the girl for
negotiates.
$1,000 and then whips out a fake $1,400 check,
Right.
gives her the check, and she gives him $400 in change.
So he gets a free $400 to sleep with this girl.
Right.
Which is it's a slick move. Apparently, it happened in real life,
Yeah.
which is interesting. And then you see,
There's no inkling of any kind of morality with prostitution or
No.
anything. Like,
Not at all.
Movie is not concerned with that
they're
at
just
all.
having fun.
Yeah. It's the 60s.
It's swinging
the swinging
60s.
60s.
You can just sleep with
And look,
17-year-olds.
she's not a moral person. She's selling herself for
Right.
money.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
Well, so it turns out she's about 20 years old.
she's older. Yeah,
They say, "Oh,
she's
I
like
saw
a
you on
washed-up
the-
model.
I saw you on the cover of 17, and oh, that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And she said she
Yeah.
will sleep with him for $1,000.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Which how much is that in 1965?
So I believe it's a 7-to-1 ratio, 7.5 to 1. So it's about 7 to 10. I think it's about $10,000, something like that.
That is about $10,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
That's an expensive
That's it.
piece of puss.
Well, she was.
That's Elliot Spitzer. That's client number
the
9.
love gov.
Elliot Spitzer. Elliot Spitzer spent $5,000.
I think he spent more than that.
Do you remember the name of the girl?
Oh,
Fuck.
God. No.
I know.
Fuck.
What is
Wait.
it? What is it?
Ashley
Damn
Dupree.
it. Yeah.
I love the love gov.
It was such a great scandal. One of the best.
It was
yeah.
fun.
It was
good.
Him and Wiener are like,
Yeah.
mwah.
And then we got the
times,
blind
good
guy.
Oh,
What a fucking
That was
run.
my favorite.
What
that
a run.
Was my favorite.
we had a run of just fucking great clowns.
I remember sitting in Brian's house watching that guy's speech live.
Patterson.
Yes,
Yes.
Patterson saying, "I found my way through the darkness my whole life. I will lead us through it," because he's blind. And me and him are like, he might do it. Literally, 12 hours later, I wake up, speak to him, boom, scandal. It was an instant scandal.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we had a bunch of clowns that time. Jimmy McMillan,
Yeah.
rent is too damn high.
Well, he was running for
time.
office.
It was a
Yeah.
golden era of goofy
It
politicians.
was a great time.
Yeah. What about in Jersey? The fucking gay guy? The
Which one?
foot tapping guy?
Oh, classic.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that guy's
I
awesome.
can't remember his name.
I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about, though. We reference him all the time.
Yeah.
He lives on through his act.
He'll live on
then-
forever.
He brought his wife up on stage and goes, "I am a gay man." Oh, man.
Do you think she knew that was coming?
So we see.
Swinging 60s Georgia party.
Well, we
Yeah,
see
yeah.
a nice like contrast again with Hanratty, who had his whites dyed by like a red
Yes.
sweater.
They pull the Spider-Man 2 move
Yeah,
of the
Some
clothes
old lady
stain.
got a red sweater in his whites.
It's a very tiny sweater, too.
I think it shrunk.
Oh.
It shrunk in the wall.
but this
She
is
didn't seem concerned that it shrunk, though.
no, she did not.
this is also an important part because what's it called?
He finds out his name is Barry Allen from...
No, you're skipping an important part. He gets a call from Frank. Carl gets a call from
Yes,
Frank
you're
to
right.
apologize.
Oh,
and
Christmas.
this is important because it continuously happens.
Yeah.
You
I
know, and
missed
that
this.
they start to form a weird relationship.
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
Tom Hanks calls him out for being a liar, but it turns out he wasn't actually lying.
He wasn't lying at all.
Yeah.
He wanted to get caught.
He
almost.
wants to be punished. He wants to be
He
stopped.
wants a dad. He wants a dad.
He wants a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want a dad.
And that's when you find out Carl's sitting in the
Come here,
thing.
don't want me,
and-
man.
Yeah. He finds out that the Barry Allen is from the Flash.
Yeah. The nerdy
He's a kid.
waiter's like, are you a
Did
collector?
you know that?
Barry Allen?
Yeah.
No. I actually only know that from this movie. I didn't know it before. It's just that's how I found out.
Did you pick up on it right away?
Nope.
Really?
I didn't know.
In the beginning, you see Frank's messy room and you see Flash comics.
Yeah, after they pointed out, I realized that. Yeah, they
They
had
bring it up
alluded to
before. Yeah. But very subtle allusion.
All right, I'm going to say a name and you have to tell me who the superhero is.
Go.
Okay.
Wally West.
I would have said the Flash, but I know that's not it now.
That's weird.
Oh God, I don't know. I don't.
Wally West is the Flash. He takes over for Barry Allen.
Oh, okay. Give me another. Give me another
he
one.
right.
tricked
Give
you.
me another one.
Yeah. All right. Hal Jordan.
The Green Lantern.
Okay.
You actually are pretty good at comics compared to me too.
I know a few. I've seen the cartoons and things like that. I think I'm better with DC than Marvel.
That's a rarity.
Scott
Nowadays.
Summers.
Hawkman, Hawkgirl. No, I don't know. I don't know who that
Hawkeye,
is.
you mean?
Hawk. So Scott Summers, Hawk Girl.
No, that's wrong. I don't know who's Scott
Hey,
Summers.
you never know.
Cyclops.
Give me two more.
Two more.
Give him,
then
a,
we'll
give
move
him a
on.
DC.
Give him a DC.
He's only been giving me DC. See, I knew that. Give me a Marvel.
Give you.
Give me a Marvel.
Marvel.
Well, Cyclops is Marvel.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I.
shit.
That's why I said
Yeah.
DC.
Oh, I was thinking
knew
of
that.
Cyborg. Cyborg is the black guy, the black robot man.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to think
Yeah.
of one. Ted Cord.
Ted Cord.
I think I know.
He's really fucking pulling the weird ones.
That's weird.
I feel like DC. If it's not
Is
the big
it DC
three,
or Marvel? This
it's
one.
DC.
The Martian Manhunter.
No.
Fuck is that?
He's a green guy.
Do you know?
I don't know.
That's the Blue Beetle.
I've never even heard
What
of
is that?
What is that?
Blue Beetle.
You're trying to trick me. Give me like one I might get.
Right, yeah, like a popular one.
John Stewart.
The Daily Show.
I knew that was coming. Do you know who?
No.
Do you know?
No.
Aquaman.
That's the Black Green Lantern.
Oh.
That's John Stewart.
Okay.
Okay. Last one.
Last
Okay.
one. Okay.
All right.
Last one.
I'm gonna go Marvel.
Okay.
I just got to think for 1 second.
Okay.
Going through Marvel characters. I feel like Marvel is so big now. You know, like everyone right away.
You know everyone right away. I don't think I know everyone.
No.
All right,
I
we'll
think.
see.
I think I could pull up one.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
I think Steve will know this. I don't know if you will. James Rhodes.
This is Marvel.
Marvel.
I have a feeling I know what you're doing, but I don't know.
I will give you a hint. It's a black man.
Nick Fury.
I'm here.
I don't know. Who is it?
Do you
Well,
know?
Did you say Nick Fury?
Yeah.
That's the only black guy I know.
So you think James?
That's Samuel L. Jackson.
So Nick Fury. That's a fake name. That's like a secret identity.
Maybe that's his superhero name.
James Rhodes goes into a booth and he comes out as Nick Fury.
Is that
It's Furious.
War Machine?
Yeah, it's War
War
Machine.
Machine. Yeah.
Steve
Better
beat you.
watch out.
Well, I like.
I
War
know
Machine.
that was your favorite
That
character.
was my favorite character growing up.
Yeah.
Because I'm a war machine. What came first, the character or that song?
Ooh. Probably. What year is that
I think
album?
the character.
80?
I think the character.
That's not 80.
Creatures
War
of the Night.
Machine? That's Creatures?
It's on Creatures.
No.
Yeah.
Is it Creatures?
Yes.
Then that came out after.
Just the album.
Yeah.
Okay.
War Machine's on Creatures?
I mean, if I'm wrong,
I
then
thought the Gene song on that was
I Love It Loud.
I Love It Loud.
I think they're both on there.
Are they really?
Yeah.
What a strong album.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is on Creatures, you're right.
What a yeah, Creatures is
Danger,
like, known
Creatures
as
of the
like
Night.
one of the best albums.
Creatures is easily top 5.
It's top 2.
It might be personally for me, it's their best album, but you know.
What a strong album.
He was shocked.
I forgot.
He's a huge Kiss fan.
I forgot it was on that.
So we cut to the future, I believe now.
The future.
The future. Oh no, excuse me, not the future. They're looking for Frank,
Well,
and they go to his mom, who married
and his
Jack.
mom immediately was like, "Look at the pictures of my son in the yearbook."
His mom does not give a fuck about him
No,
She remarried
or
she-
her family. Yeah.
She's done.
she moved on.
She was willing to pay though.
Yes.
She was like, "Oh, I'll give you some money." And how much does he owe? I'll give you like $4,000, something like that. And it's like $1.3 million he stole, which today, $13 million.
I think we're definitely supposed to be on Dad's side in this whole thing, as far as
I think
between
you
the
should
parents.
be. I mean, the mother had an affair.
This is
Yeah.
true. This is very true.
But the dad was just being
well,
scummy.
He lost all his money by being a tax cheat, right? So
Yeah.
he did fuck up.
He did.
But yeah, to have his wife abandon the family because
Yes.
of it is kind of
Pretty bad.
She's the villain. She's definitely. the
She's
villain.
not good.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
there's an honorable way to go through a divorce.
And I
do
wonder
things.
if what you said is true, and this is Spielberg's personal feelings being reflected in the film.
It 100% is. His mother had an affair with his dad's best friend.
That's exactly what happens in this movie. So
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Now we get the massive 60s fucking party,
swingers
Yeah,
party.
which is insane.
It's not really insane. It's just a bunch of people in a house, and he kind of walks through it.
It's just 60s stuff, you know.
It's a wild party.
They
There's
got a
shit
hi-fi.
happening. Yeah, there's
a conversation pit that's referenced.
my fiance wants a conversation pit in our future house, and I don't know even how do you even go about that?
Levels. You want levels. I'm
That was
not
fast.
even doing it. I mean, I'm doing it.
You're doing it, but I know you're doing it, but it worked so well. Like it worked so well.
Yeah.
And then Lance fractures his elbow.
Who's Lance?
Lance is the guy that fell in the conversation pit.
Oh, okay.
The lady comes like, Lance fell in the conversation pit, and that's why he goes to the hospital to check up on Lance.
Yeah. Why isn't he having fun in his own party?
Well, he had wine spilt on his Italian knit sweater.
He's such
They're
a
fucking his
jerk in
record
this scene.
player.
Like, why have these people over and have the party if you're not going to enjoy the party?
They were destroying his house.
When you host, you never get to enjoy it. You always got to worry about things.
He's going to abandon it all anyway. What does he care?
Good point.
Yeah, he's a jerk.
Yeah.
He should have been trashing it with them.
Yeah.
This is Italian knit, man.
Yeah.
Shut up.
And then he goes to the hospital wearing the shirt.
Yep.
Which isn't stained. It didn't even get stained.
And he sees a young nurse with braces,
Yes.
played
Amy
by
Adams.
Amy Adams, in
Nurse-
her big break.
Nurse
This is her big
Strong.
break?
I think this is her big break.
Yeah.
She was in Talladega Nights.
She's really, really
She's
attractive.
confused
Brenda.
constantly by me with the girl from The Office.
They look almost
Yes.
the same. And
Yeah.
I mean, they play that joke on The Office because they have Amy Adams show up.
Oh, yeah?
And Jim starts dating her to make Pam jealous in like season 2 or something like that.
Yeah. And he decides, I want to bang this nurse.
Yes.
I'm going to be a doctor now.
Yes.
Dr. Connors,
Dr. Connors.
which I think may also be another comic book reference.
Oh, yeah?
The Lizard, Dr. Connors,
That's a Spider-Man villain.
Spider-Man villain.
That's probably
I don't
a
think
reference.
they pay it off, but I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense. And this didn't happen.
So
This did
the
not
whole
happen.
he has a whirlwind romance with this girl, and they end up like getting married.
Yep.
He has stated, the real guy, that this is heavily based on a stewardess he knew when he was living in New Orleans for a time, which she's from New Orleans in the movie. There was no talk of marriage whatsoever. He was a young guy, and that wasn't in his head at all.
Yep, I saw that too.
And that's it. Like it's just a girl he was with, but it's not based on any kind of true romance or anything.
Right. They needed that to make the movie more.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. It puts heavier
depth,
stakes in
yeah.
it. Yeah, they get to have that scene with Martin Sheen.
yes.
Great
whole
scene.
thing.
Great
Yeah.
scene. But
So-
now.
And I love when he tells Sheen the truth. We'll just skip a little.
Yes.
And he tells
Yeah,
Martin
love it.
Sheen the truth, and he's like, "Look, I'm not a pilot. I'm not all these
Yep.
things. I just love your daughter."
Yeah,
And he respects it.
And he's posing as a doctor at this point.
Yes.
He's weaseled his way into the hospital. He gets called down to actually be a doctor with a kid who's been
Broke
in a
his
black-
leg.
He broke his leg. And
Do you
then
concur?
And supposedly this is true.
Oh,
He-
yeah?
Yeah, he decided he had to get out of this game. He was actually going to hurt people if he stuck around.
If he's pretending to
And
be
he's
a
pretending to be a doctor, yeah. So he's like, this is too dangerous. I got to get out of here.
I think there.
So
there
then he
might
switched
be,
to law.
Yeah, and he starts practicing law.
Martin Sheen gives him an in
Yep.
as like his new father-in-law.
And
Supposedly he passes the bar.
he passes the bar. Apparently, the Louisiana bar. In real life, never heard of this man.
Now, I
Doesn't
heard the
exist.
exact opposite. I heard that this is true, and he actually studied for 2 weeks and managed to pass the test and got his license.
There's no license under his name at all, even the fake names.
Even the fake name.
Yeah. So apparently, that's from the Louisiana.
Maybe they're
Board.
lying. We don't know.
Maybe they don't want to be
They're
embarrassed.
covering their face.
Covering their asses
Yeah.
to be like, hey, you can't just take the bar and pass. You got to
Right.
do what you got to do.
As far as Frank is concerned, he passed the bar.
yes.
So what I'm seeing right now is he forged a transcript from Harvard and applied to take the bar exam. He studied hard, failed twice, and he passed the Louisiana exam on his third try after 8 weeks of studying.
There you go.
8 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, everything he pulls off in this manner is like just elaborate forgeries of credentials.
Right. Right.
You know?
You know what though? In my
People lie in their resume all the time.
yeah, in my mind, if he's able to pass the bar, he should be able to practice law, as far as I'm concerned.
He was legally working.
They have a funny scene where he's like imitating a TV show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
well, that's
Matlock
something
or
that's,
something.
that's repetitive, right? He's always repeating the TV because the TV is more of a inspiration than anything else for him.
Right.
So he like you said in the courtroom, he's like the jury and he's doing like these TV tropes.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
And he's like, "There's no jury. This is
Yeah.
like,
It's
what
a
are you talking
preliminary
about?
hearing.
Yeah. Like, what is the matter with you?
I'm gonna need you back here. I got a case about two Utes who
To what, Mr.
Utes.
Beanie?
They knocked off a bodega.
They don't have bodegas down there.
No, it's a convenience store, I guess.
Has
And
sack
anybody
of
here
suds.
seen Kelly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a weird.
I did like
scene.
that.
They're all singing.
They have an
Have you ever
Irish-
sang with your family like that on the couch?
Yeah, but it's always like ironic. Like there's a heavy
Right.
bit of like fucking around.
You're not
here.
like looking at each other smiling.
No, we're not. We're not all enjoying something together. It's like we're being facetious in
Right.
some way.
Somebody doesn't like the song, so we're all gonna sing it. You know. So he visits his father again, who's still having IRS problems.
And his father's like, I'm not telling you to stop. Steal and get everything
Yep.
they took from us back.
Yeah.
Can't stop.
Which
Where
we
you
know
going?
is bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
And he calls Hanks
Yep. On Christmas Eve again.
on Christmas Eve, and he's like, stop chasing me, please. I just want this to be done. Like, I got a real
He
job.
almost like was going straight.
He was
He was trying to.
but
Yeah.
you stole $4 million.
Right.
You're going to jail.
He's like, you have to pay for what you did.
Got a wife now,
Yep.
at least in the movie.
He goes, I love my job.
Yes, Tom Hanks.
And now the FBI.
Southern now.
Yeah.
Well, now he knows that because he's getting married, he's stuck in one place. He can't run as fast as
Yes.
he usually can. So they go
Change
to the
the name,
engagement
loses the
party.
girl.
Yep.
So now they go. The FBI crashes his engagement party.
Is his engagement or is his wedding?
It's engagement party.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he takes Amy Adams up to the room because he sees the FBI, and he's like, "I gotta confess something," and she's like, "You're not a Lutheran,"
Very funny.
which is a funny line.
Yeah.
One of my ex-girlfriends was a Lutheran.
Really?
Yeah.
So that means they worship Luther Vandross, right?
Yes, they love
The
Luther
synod of Luther Vandross and,
That's all they listen to.
and Lex Luthor. They love him too. He's like a patron saint.
It's a patron saint.
Yes.
Just you're when you go that way, you go out of frame. That's
Oh, I'm out of frame. Okay. I'm sorry.
He's all over
I was
the place.
I was just lounging.
yeah, I
all
know.
over the place.
That's why I'm like going like
Right.
this.
I want to keep that in.
Yeah, but the Lutherans, it's a little interesting being with them.
Yeah?
Yeah, I went to some services with her.
You went to a Lutheran service.
I've been to a couple.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know what that means though. What's different?
He doesn't know. He has no
they're
reference
like,
point.
no, I know.
No.
I've been to Catholic mass
Yeah,
before.
you
have?
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know about the one true faith. You're fucked at the resurrection, dude.
Wow. You know what? Just skip it. Let's not, don't even go down this road.
Let's just move on.
There's another path. We'll take that one. So Brenda is holding cash in tears because he's like, we got to go. I got a ton of money. Meet me at the Miami airport. Goodbye. And he runs away. He leaves out a window, and Carl just misses him. What?
Oh,
What?
Carl Weathers, yeah, Apollo Creed shows up.
Yeah.
Death Hunt.
punches Brenda in the face.
Yeah, so now he has to flee to Miami.
And he
Yes.
gets to the airport, and he sees they're using Amy Adams as bait.
Yes.
And he can't go to her, and he's like, ugh.
He bounces like one of his checks.
I like that.
Right?
That was clever.
I spent weeks thinking that up. So you better like it.
So Leo comes up with a plan that will allow him to fly out of Miami,
He's got to sneak past the agents.
which doesn't make sense because he has a car. He doesn't have to fly out of Miami. He could go anywhere.
Yeah, he's in Louisiana.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
They
just,
say he knows the airport.
yeah.
I don't know.
He knows every airport at this point.
He's been to a lot of airports.
But his plan is he goes to college and he holds fake auditions, like many a porn,
Yeah.
and he casts them as stewardess.
And supposedly this
8 of them.
happened.
Yep.
This is real. He hosted fake auditions for sexy stews,
8 of them.
and he uses them to get by everybody in security.
He wants to go to Europe
And
for
he
2 months.
takes them to Europe.
Yep.
This is his way to escape over international waters.
Yes.
That's his trick.
And he goes to La Francais.
He goes, yeah.
And it works.
I like the report of a car outside. He paid a driver to sit there, and the sign says hand ratty.
Yeah.
So
As
he
a-
knew he was tricking the
The
agent.
final insult.
Yeah. And then 7 months later, so he was over there for quite some time. It turns out the international fraud got so good and he was doing it so much that they have to stop him. Otherwise, another agency is going to get him.
Well, in the movie, he set up this giant machine.
Like a warehouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's printing thousands of fake checks.
Yes. It's like a
And they're
French
like perfect
printing press.
forgeries. And they're so good that they realize that the only way he could be printing them is with a giant machine.
Yes. and there's only one
and
place
he's-
they exist.
And it's just him in this warehouse like, yes!
Then they're flying
He's
everywhere.
like going mad
Right.
with power.
Well, he wants to be caught.
Yeah.
He wants this to end.
Right.
it really is insane.
Yeah. I don't think any of
But
this
he's
is actually true.
He's making real checks supposedly.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
that's what they figure
Right.
out.
Right.
Yes.
It's from a printing press. It's a French printing press.
This is a weird reference, but do you remember that 70s show?
Okay.
There's an episode where Donna finds a pair of panties in Eric's car. And
Yes.
they don't belong to her. And then she has a nightmare that they're in Eric's bedroom, and he pulls like a ripcord, and thousands of panties fall out of the ceiling on him.
I remember
And he
this.
starts screaming, "Panties, glorious panties!" That's kind of what I felt like watching this
Yes.
scene with the checks. He's like, "Got him!" And
Whose panties were they? I
they
can't
were
remember now.
Donna's mom
That's-
at the end of the
okay, yes.
episode, who had had sex with her father in Eric's car. There you go.
70s, man. What a time.
Crazy, crazy stuff.
I mean, this is kind of the 70s right
Crazy
now.
stuff.
We're in the
man.
70s in this film. So it's
Not yet, because everything wraps up by 1969 until he starts working for the FBI.
well, that's where we're going into.
So
because
Hank catches
he
him, and he's
him.
like, if you run, they're waiting to shoot
They're
you
gonna kill you.
outside.
So no American had any part in the capture of him. He was arrested by the French police.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
He was extradited, though.
Tom Hanks' character did not go to France. Yeah.
he was
never got to
he
see
was
Paris.
extradited though, right?
Oh, you know what? Tom Hanks' character may have been the one to bring him back, but he had no involvement in the capture.
The actual arrest.
Yeah.
In the movie, they do it well though, because you kind of think Carl's lying to him. Like they're out there. They're
Well,
waiting to kill
they
you.
could play it either way,
Yeah,
right?
and then he comes out, and there's nobody in the street.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, all the police show up, and it's like, no, Carl was actually telling the truth to you. Like he becomes the father in this few next scenes.
He's finally being disciplined. He's finally being
Yeah.
put in his place.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Now, in real life, he was in French prison for 6 months before he was transported to the U.S. In this, it seems like it's longer because he has time to grow a beard and long hair.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
it looks
maybe
like
that's
over
6
a
months.
year. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think so, man. Because his beard's like down to here.
It's not
right?
that long.
It's pretty long.
It's
no?
in the beginning. I really don't remember. I didn't take note of it at the time. I don't know.
We'll probably see. Maybe. Who knows?
But then they're on the plane.
Yes.
And this is a cool scene because now they're finally together and talking to each other, and Tom Hanks is fucking with him a little bit. He's got the eclair. He finds out his dad is dead.
He panics.
And he runs into the bed.
He's very upset.
Now, in the movie, he takes the toilet apart and sneaks into the bowels of the plane. Right?
Landing gear.
In real life, it was the kitchen. He actually did this.
Yes.
He managed to escape off the plane when it landed, and he runs to his mother's house, and he sees his mother having a nice life without him, and it drives him fucking nuts and says, arrest me. He gives up.
He sees his mother's daughter, all this.
Right.
His
Now, here's-
half-sister.
In real life, he gets off that plane and makes it all the way to Montreal.
Yep.
And will be apprehended in the Montreal airport. He did
French,
not
man.
go home.
Yeah. He had a hard on for
He
the
had-
French.
Yeah, he just wanted
he
to
could
get
his
speak
mother,
it.
yeah.
He could
Yeah.
speak it.
Yeah.
He had a couple of friends, a couple of weeks out in escape land at that time, but they did get him back. Now, he goes to prison, right? I saw a thing today, and it makes no sense to me. I don't understand the scam. But it said, this is not in the movie.
Okay.
It said that he had a girlfriend who was sympathetic to him.
Okay.
And he was getting special treatment when he was in prison. And some of the guards thought he was a prison inspector and not a prisoner. And I don't get that at all. I don't know how that's even possible.
yeah.
But the thing I watched said this, that somehow the girlfriend on the outside got him a business card that said he was a prison inspector, and with a phone number on it. And the phone number was to a payphone in a mall. So that when he gave the card to guards, like the people at the prison, they called the number, and she answered. She was waiting by the phone to answer, and she picked up as his secretary, and like confirmed who he was, right? And then she pulled up to the prison, picked him up, and they just let him go, and he escaped again. But then he got picked up again. The story doesn't make sense to me. I don't believe it.
A lot of
But
his
this is
shit
something I heard.
convoluted.
So if anybody knows this and it's out there, be my guest. Tell us about it. But I really didn't. I didn't go for it. Hearing about it.
I mean,
Did you see anything about this?
I am looking it up now, but a lot of people, this actually, the New York Post ran an article about him March 13th, 2023,
No.
about how, like, his lifetime of lies and, like, all this shit. But, I am trying to find that prison scam thing, and this website, AF Security Systems, has an article about it.
That's him. That's his company.
Is it?
Yeah, he now runs a security firm.
Wow.
you were getting conned. You were getting
Brian's
conned
getting
live.
conned right in front of us.
I just gave them $1,000. But yeah,
was fucking
who knows if that's real or not.
I don't know.
I can't. I don't know, man. It's hard to believe. A lot of his stuff is hard to believe, and I'm not the only one who thinks that.
So, Hanratty shows up on Christmas Eve
Yeah.
to Leo, and he brings in Flash Comics, the Barry Allen, and he's also like, I'm after this new check guy.
Yeah.
And he shows Leo the check, and Leo, boom, instantly knows that it's
What's
a
up?
teller.
Yep.
And Hanks is like, oh shit, we can use this guy.
He wants to hire him.
He wants to hire him.
He wants to become his dad.
I'm going to be your new daddy.
Call me daddy.
The dad shit aside, that happened. He started working for the FBI,
that
shortened
did
his
happen.
prison sentence, and did it for years. And those two guys, the real guy, we said his name earlier, Joseph Shea,
Shay.
and Frank, were lifelong friends until Shea's death in 2005, I believe.
And the movie at the end says like companies paid him like millions of dollars to create better security for fraud.
Yes.
Which is
At the time of the movie, he was running a security fraud.
yeah.
When the movie came out.
Yeah.
Not security fraud.
Security
Security company.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I may have to debunk the FBI thing.
Go for
Go
it.
for it, yeah.
This is from Wikipedia. Journalist Ira Perry was unable to find any evidence that Abagnale worked with the FBI, according to one retired FBI special agent in charge. Abagnale was caught trying to pass personal checks in 1978,
Whoa.
several years after he claimed that he began working with the FBI.
So this guy's still a liar.
He's still a liar.
So that's,
And like he was arrested several times in and out. There's a lot of like bullshit, you know?
yes, it's mixed.
He was
though.
in the Navy in real life.
Oh, yeah?
because mind you, that's Wikipedia.
When did he even have time to join the Navy?
From December 1964 to February 1965.
Wikipedia is also user input. It's not
It is.
fact, so it's hard to go by that. But I did see the same thing where like Wikipedia, if you go onto it, it's like 90% of what this man said was BS. Mm-hmm. But
A lot
I
of this
see real articles like you saw.
A lot of
where-
this is from the Daily Oklahoman that's what's cited in 1978.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, it seems like he's a mystery in a riddle wrapped in an enigma. This man is a mystery to us to this day, and I guess that's a testament to the themes of the film.
Right.
We can't get a handle on it, and thus he has conned us on our own show.
Maybe. I mean, the movie exists though, so it's
The movie exists.
It's hard to
We
tell.
know the man is a living
There is a
person.
myth.
Yeah.
We don't know the man, we know the myth.
we know he owns a
We know his
security
legend.
firm, so
And we know the movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we know he lied about, but well, he didn't lie. Spielberg put in Parent Thing,
Yeah.
so that's fact. I mean, there's
The heart
It's a
of
good mix.
The heart of the movie
it is what it
is
is.
a man who just needs a dad. He needs dad to discipline him.
And the heart of the ocean is at the bottom of the Atlantic.
Yeah. And
right.
now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the episode, I think.
Okay,
The picture.
the picture. Best you've ever done.
That's a plane.
This is the best you've ever done. That's a plane,
That's a
even
plane.
though
Even though it's
the
rudder,
wing is translucent. It's probably made of some glass.
its rudder is
Its rudder
worthless.
is-
It's far too small for this.
Wait a minute. What is that on the back?
What?
What is that?
That's a Pan Am logo.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a Pan Am logo?
Yeah, I can't. I don't know what it
Oh.
actually is, but I.
It's like a globe, but that makes sense. This couldn't fly, but it's a plane. It's a plane.
They had some trouble in the air.
Yeah. It looks like when they try to when like Uganda tries to make aircraft and they fail.
Right, right.
Like the wings aren't big enough. Or they put a ceiling fan
Yeah,
on the helicopter.
So the wing on the right side of the plane is a legit wing. It's actually like shaped like a wing, but the one closest to us on the left side of the plane is just a circle, just a circular wing. But
well, we do know it's a plane.
that's a plane right off the bat.
Normally, when he
That's-
draws planes.
It looks
Normally,
like a
when
cock.
he draws planes, he draws penises.
Yeah,
So
that's not a dick.
not this time.
You did good. You're getting better.
Well, it's 10,000 hours, right? Makes a master.
Right. So you got 10,000 movies to
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
over.
I was proud of this one. I was like, this, I think, looks pretty good.
Yeah, good job, Brian.
I can't wait till eventually it's going to be like masterful works. you
I'm
know?
just going to get my wife to do it because she could actually draw and paint.
Well, no.
Sub her in.
So what?
It's rating time.
Yeah, let's rate this. I'll go first
Yep.
if you want. I gave it a decent rating, not the highest. 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I liked it. It's enjoyable. I would watch it anytime and feel okay with it. It's not groundbreaking. It's not going to like blow your mind, but it's cool and it's fun, you know?
I don't know how to rate this. I'm at like a weird conundrum because
Historical accuracy versus entertainment.
there's just
That's good.
I like the movie. I thought it was good. It was fun to watch. I don't know. It's just there for me.
Left you wanting more.
I didn't even want. It's just like okay, that was a story.
Yeah.
I have no reason to revisit this ever. But I didn't dislike it. Everybody's good in it. 6, 7,
Yeah.
7, I think, is what
7
I
is
get
good.
from you.
7.
Fine.
Fine.
Is good. What about you? You love it, so I'm curious.
I'm going to go 9.
9. That's high.
I love this movie.
Okay.
I love it more now than I did before. I'm getting more out of it.
Right.
Especially, I know more about Spielberg. the whole family stuff.
Yeah, there's a personal relationship you have with the film, and that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's just it's so enjoyable for me. It's infinitely watchable. Like I can watch it at any moment and tune in.
Yeah.
Watch it for 20 minutes and be happy.
I have a good question for Anthony.
Oh.
Honestly. If we didn't, and I didn't tell you the director, and you watched this movie, would you think it was a Spielberg?
That's a good question.
I wouldn't. To be honest, I would be like, that's not Spielberg.
It doesn't feel like one of his.
No. It's rare.
Oh, I think it does.
Yeah?
When you know it's him, you see the tropes.
Right.
But if I didn't know, would I have discerned?
Would you have been like, that's a Spielberg? I don't think you
Like
would.
Well, when you
that's
think
hard.
Spielberg, do you think like his dramas, or do you think his big
I've
shit?
seen enough of his movies. I can spot a Spielberg movie, but this one just
It's off.
feels a little off. I don't know. I don't know why.
And no, I agree. That's why I asked you, because you didn't see it before.
I think I personally get annoyed with just like the glamorizing of the '60s because I hate the decade so much, and I hate the people in it.
I hate humans.
No, I just hate that whole culture.
I got you.
I everything that happened in the decade sucked balls for everyone.
I don't disagree. The Beatles are pretty good, though.
Yeah, the music's good.
Some good music came out of there. A little bit of interesting art, But I think you're on the same page there. Like, you probably wouldn't, right? I wouldn't be.
Yeah,
like that.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. But yeah, that's Catch If You Can.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you for watching, listening, supporting. Anthony, what should our fans do?
Like and subscribe. I hope you like this episode. Just, ring the bell. Do all the good stuff. Get involved. Sure. Send us an email. Send us a comment on the social medias. Now Brian's going to repeat everything I said quickly. Go.
Yeah, go do it.
He's going to say it real fast.
Yeah.
Want to give a big thank you to Brywalt Q Get 'em. Tell them Steve Dave Lannis record down in their studio. Come on down, visit them in Hazlitt. Thank you all for listening and or watching the show wherever you are. Follow us on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that shit. Review History Pod on Twitter, Reviewing History Pod everywhere else. Follow me personally on all social media, Brian Rupert with 2 Ps. Follow me on Letterboxd. I rank and review every single movie I watch, even the ones in my personal life. Thank you so much. We will see you next time. Bye.
I am the P-Man!